sensitive matters. In Belmont Central, a bunch of the project dwellers have started to kick out our preachers. And the local compos have decided that they don't have much of a gratitude, a debt of gratitude to the church, and so they took our aid and they kicked us out. We don't like that much. We're just looking to send a message. Do you know what that means, my son?
You want me to sit them down and have a nice Bible session to show them the errors of their ways and open their minds.
Exactly, my son. We want you to, work half shift here and the rest of the time wander into Belmont Central and put Bibles where we tell you to put them. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
Just to let them know who they should be grateful for. Don't you agree?
Will I be on the clock as I do this?
You will be richly rewarded. Every time we give you a new shipment of Bibles and send you to Belmont Central, you'll be rewarded. All you need to do is to place the Bibles where we tell you to place them. Of course, if you are caught by the local gang, or worse, the local go-gangers, with a bunch of Bibles on you, well, I don't need to tell you what those heathens will do to you.
I think I get what you're saying.
How does that sound, Dante? Did your parents really name you that, or do you just go by that?
It's I don't know where the name comes from, but yeah, it's a real name. I knew another person with a similar name, and he was a lost soul who turned to drugs and...
Right, so that's nice and all. Around 5 this afternoon, you'll receive the package and instructions. You'll have a comm link in it. Don't lose that. We'll be sending you to Belmont Central. Put the Bibles down. You understand? Get paid. No complications. Good work ethic. Don't let your capo down. And he walks to the loading bay door, opens it out back again. And as you walk out, he says, "Thank you for your confession, my son." And he gives a nod to your floor supervisor, who just walks back to his office. He has a little office where he can see the whole floor and doesn't have to listen to the preacher. And you get back to your shift. DeFries, are you still here?
Yes.
All right, so Mr. DeFries, are you going to head to the local poly club?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be headed that way. I'm all
sounds
set up.
nice.
Sounds good.
So you're gonna dress up, make sure you look very nice.
Oh yeah, I got a bag with me that has some fancy clothes. A little bit more than I'd really want to wear right around here. I'm gonna bring with me.
Drop like 50 new in there, and they'll make you look even better.
Well, I got some cash I can carry around.
All right, as you pull up on your comm link, the locations that you have, you can see taxi services, you can see luxury taxi services, you can see all the local food joints, and Strangely enough, your map has a watermark of the local gang on it, letting you know where their territory begins and ends. So you can go to the local beauty parlor.
Well, I shouldn't look too bad right now. And what time is it? About
It's around 1 p.m.
1 p.m.
The poly clubs, it's good to get going. Get there around 6. Around 7, 8, 9, the local wage slaves are done working and they head over to the poly club.
Okay, so I got a little bit of time. I should be able to dress myself up a little bit, then press the flesh with the leadership over there. Get talking a little bit, figure out what the situation is in time for people to start showing up. That sounds like a good idea. I'll take I think I'll call up one of the cheap taxis, and I'll take a
Call
ride down to
the
the beauty
cheap taxis.
parlor.
So you hit the button and like 2-3 minutes of standing in a smelly street later, a car with no driver shows up. Door opens.
All right, I go ahead and step on in.
Door closes. Where would you like to go, sir?
Let me consult the map here. What beauty parlors are around here? Looking at the map.
Well, you can go to a local Trogs Beauty Palace, or you can go to, and it runs down the street. You can see the cyberware on this thing is pretty much broken. Oh, sir, you are a male. You want to go to Man's Warehouse Beauty Parlor.
Excellent. That sounds perfect.
Car starts moving. The car weaves in and out of traffic in ways that scare you several times. And you can see actual human drivers yelling at it several times. And then you end up in front of a giant compound that just looks like a giant concrete building. The car starts driving into it and then starts driving on one of those interior parking lots that spiral up. So you go up, 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 up. And at some point it stops and it says, would you like me to wait for you, sir?
That is not necessary.
All right, so you wait, you leave the car. There is a giant plastered sign that says Men's Warehouse on the interior of the parking lot, like gateway where you can go. Do you dare enter?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
That's what I'm here for.
You walk in. You walk past the greeters, which are always disturbing to look at because they have personality fixing chips that make them look like a little bit too friendly. And they say, hello, sir. Welcome to Men's Warehouse. We have everything you need, from clothes to beauty parlors to certain genetic beauty services. And there's a giant sign that has clearly had gunshots gone through it in this interior mall, with a man in a suit, and it says beauty parlor under it.
You know, I initially came up here to get like a little bit of a shave, a little bit of a trim, just look nice, but I'm not sure if I want these people near me with a razor.
Yeah,
I look around a little bit, try and judge the atmosphere of the employees. What's it look like?
this
Are
doesn't,
there employees? What's
it
going
feels
on?
very different from when you were on the compound and you were Mas's son, so you had the best treatment from the local cultists who would make sure that you were always up to par. But now, you know, this looks very chaotic. In fact, you see two different parlors. You see one parlor which has the gunshots going through the sign, and you see a lot of trolls and orcs going in and out of it. And you see a little corner shop with a bunch of Japanese characters on it flashing, and it's tiny. It's like an arm span size shop with just a door, and it says haircuts on it.
You know, there's a place for these the metahumans. You know, they're lost souls. They need help just like everybody else. But I'm gonna go look at the Oriental looking place. Let's go take a closer look at that.
Uh-huh. So you walk past the giant metahuman plaza and you catch a glimpse inside. They have something like 30 different haircut parlors which are cybered up to perform various adjustments, and you have on top of that these large orcish ladies working away at the hair. Lots of yelling, very noisy. You can in fact smell food from the inside of it, curiously enough. You open the Oriental shop door, and it rings a little, and it's just stairs leading down. And from the bottom you hear, "Come in, come in, come in." And as you head down, you see a single chair with a bunch of robotic arms around it, and a Japanese man sitting in front of a reinforced counter. By reinforced, I mean it's made out of solid steel, and there's a machine gun lodged into it, pointing up towards the staircase. What you want?
You perform beauty parlor services, sir?
No, that next door. We cyber.
Oh, okay, my mistake.
We
I
also
apologize.
do pheromone. Yes?
Oh, thank you. I just
Control minds.
took the wrong way. Thank you, sir.
No, we do good work. We do good work. And he like leads you to the chair. Let me show you services.
No, thank you, sir. I'm not on the market today. Thank you. No.
All right. And he walks up to you and puts a business card in your front pocket. And he says, "If you ever need anything, cyber."
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. I will keep this. Thank you.
He nods and walks back to behind his counter.
Okay, I get out of here, skedaddle.
Yeah, you take a taxi and leave again.
You know, I don't look that bad. Look decent. I had a shave this morning, yesterday morning, whatever. I'm doing
You're a
okay.
little worried that your excursion made you smell a little worse.
Yeah, enough of that. Let's take a look at the map here. How far away is the Poly? What's it now?
It's like 12 blocks away. Poly Club.
Poly Club. Just
It's
forgot
next to
that.
the local high school.
Okay. So I figure it's what, probably about 2 o'clock, 2:30 maybe.
So let me show you on the map. You were at the Kauf House,
Mm-hmm.
and you're heading to the Catholic Church. And it's fairly early. It's fairly early. It's like 5 something p.m.
Yeah, it's getting fairly late. I don't want to try and walk around too much, especially that distance. And who knows what's going on?
Day that it's dangerous around here, and you wouldn't know that.
Oh yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
looking around.
Nighttime,
wanna
there are
do
police
that.
patrols and gangs. Gangers essentially are out on the streets, which is a good thing because if someone causes trouble, whatever. But during the day, you don't have a lot of people walking around. You have a lot of traffic.
Well, I woke up pretty late this morning, getting here, getting set up for my trip last night. So it's okay. I'll stay up late tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and call the fancier taxi. See
Okay.
about getting down to the Poly Club.
So the fancier taxi costs a lot more than the normal one.
How
Costs
much more are we talking?
30 new yen instead of 5.
That's a lot more.
Yeah, 30 new yen's a lot more.
But I really don't like the cheap taxi.
Would you like to call your contact to let him know you're about to get to the Poly Club?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and ring him up and let him know that I'm about to take a taxi or about to make my way over there. Yeah.
All right. So you ring up Pastor Luke. Is that right?
No,
No,
Pastor
Pastor
Luke.
Luke is your
He's my dad.
he's your
Yeah.
dad. Okay. So you ring up the Poly Club, and the guy who invited you to go speak, um, Jeremy, answers and says, Is that you, Mr. DeFries?
Yes, Jeremy. Hello.
We'll be expecting you in about 2 hours. How are you doing so far in Chicago?
I'm doing well, thank you. It's a little bit to get used to, but I like it. I like it. It's got a good vibe to it here.
Yes,
Good people.
it's a very vibrant place. You should check out the
That
local Simpsons theaters.
if you let me know what specifically you're talking about, I will make a note of that and mark it on my map.
Ah, you rustic types, you're always fun. Simpsons theaters, you know, you walk in and you get to have an all sensory experience.
Oh yeah, I was reading about that the other day. Mm-hmm.
It's really the specialty out here in town. Real cheap too compared to the other Japanese knockoff types that they have in other
Yeah, I
cities.
had a encounter with one of those Japanese types just a few hours ago.
Oh yeah. The diaspora seems to get around, but you won't see too many of them around here in Chicago.
Oh no, what do you see around here?
Locals, and the good grace of God brought to you by the local Catholic Poly Club, of course.
As he wills it. Yes.
So when
Yep.
could we expect you here, though?
Yeah, I am just about to make my way on over. I'm a few blocks away, so it shouldn't be too long.
Oh, so early. Well, I suppose.
Well, you never know what the traffic's gonna be like. I had an experience this morning with a taxi.
Well, you'll get used to city life soon enough.
Yep, yep,
I'll have them let you into the St. Fern Poly Club, which shouldn't be too far from where you are right now.
yep. All right, sounds good. Thank you, brother.
Your luxury taxi drives you to the St. Ferdinand Catholic Poly Club. Picture a church from 40K, but it's been turned into like a corporate building, like
Mm-hmm.
you know the McChurches that the ecumenical evangelists build, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It has Roman pillars at the front and everything, and you can see a bunch of people are actually under the front area, smoking and on couches. And you can tell that this is a better area of town. The street looks actually clean. There's a lot less metahumans around. As you enter, just a it's just a giant space that you can tell leads into different aisles, which are churches and confessionals and restaurants and shopping malls and you can choose whether to go to where the employees of the local place are, which is probably where you're going to be wanting to go to prepare for your speech, or if you want to kill time by either going around and going around the church in this house of God that they have built.
Yeah, I'm still a little bit early. I don't want to be too early. That gives a bad impression. I'll wander around a little bit and look at what they got going on here.
All right. So all that's happening. Dag, you've just finished your shift. It's 5. Autismo, sorry. Dante. Christ. Dante. As you're putting away your special security gloves and face mask and shoes and personality fix chip that motivates you to work harder in your in your cage, which is what they call the work unit, your station unit. And you're about to head to the living area that they've made for this factory. The capo is running around punching metahumans so that they stay there, because apparently they haven't worked hard enough, so they need to do an extra shift now. Preacher Jake, out of your corner of your eye, materializes next to you, and suddenly he's there and talking to you. Dante,
Oh,
you still up for our little agreement?
sure, yeah.
You'll find in your locker everything you need. All right?
All right. I'll head there now.
As you head inside, you put away your stuff. In your locker, you find Bibles. The Bibles are in plastified bags, right? So it's like you bought something new out of Amazon and the wrapper is still on it. And handwritten instructions, which is surprising because most people don't know how to write. You try to decipher what's written on this thing, and smart boy than you are, you see that it's a list of addresses. And you have one big address with a number 1 in front. That is the St. Ferdinand Poly Club.
Oh boy, a rich den.
Yeah. And it says, expenses covered, negotiate salary here. So you're just gonna drop this whole thing and decide that it's too much of a hassle, or are you gonna go to St. Ferdinand Catholic?
Well, what else am I gonna do? Might as
All
well
right.
head there.
Yeah, city boy that you are, you don't even need to call a taxi. You just carpool with other wage slaves that are also going to the Catholic Poly Club for the sermon there. Your capo catches you and says, you don't have to worry about your shift for tomorrow, all right? I already got someone for that, and I'm gonna take you for the religious type, but I mean, you and Preacher Jake seem to have it down, right?
Oh yeah, I'm all about it. I'm all about religion.
Yeah. Any issues with the Poly Club and whatever the hell they're doing, you just call me up and I let upstairs know, all right? Any issues?
Can do.
All right. And he lets you go. You get in a carpool, and by 6:30, you're at the Catholic Poly Club of St. Ferdinand with a piece of paper. You walk up the stairs, and as soon as you get to the Roman columns, um, uh, a blue hologram cross starts waving over you. And it kind of opens into a little screen that floats. And you can see that everybody around you is also heading this way, and that some of them also have this thing. And this little floating screen thing that seems to have appeared as a hologram says, Dante, not registered, wait in unregistered line. And you can see that a line is actually forming in front of a man in big, gaudy, almost Orthodox style robes. So do you just try to walk your way in without getting in the unregistered line, or do you want to get into the unregistered line?
I suppose I get in the unregistered line.
All right, you're in the unregistered line. A bunch of it's a pretty dirty line. The other people that have walked in they seem well to do, the ones who are registered, but you're in an unregistered, and so you get down the line, and when you finally get to the priest, you realize that it's not just the priest. Behind the column is actually a little machine that's been set up that you can't actually see from an angle, and it has a scanner, and it scans your face, and it says on the screen, sinless, unregistered. And the priest just looks at you expectantly. Well, are you going to pay the unregistered fee? Come on, there are people in line, you know? This isn't Stuffer Shack. Come on. 50 new yen, pay up.
Wait, was I given money?
All right, and he turns and he just like hand waves a guard over, and the guard, like TSA style, grabs you and puts you aside. And he starts handling the next person over. Hey, you confused? You lost, son? You pay the unregistered fee to get in, or you get out.
I cast. What the fuck was that? One of the spells?
You're sinless, kid. No sin, you need to pay. It's simple enough. 50 new yen, you pay up. Come on.
Can I cast Mob Mind?
You can cast Mob Mind, but you're going to start chanting and making hand waves.
Okay.
Because you are a hermetic mage. Which, I mean, you can do.
I mean, well, that doesn't seem like it's going to be a good idea.
Uh-huh. The guard just shakes his head. Fucking idiot. Whatever. Pay up or walk out whenever you feel like it. And he just sits back down in his little, like, picnic chair that's behind this giant column at the entrance.
Wait, 50... Wait, 50...
New yen.
Oh, shit, I thought... Oh, fuck, I was doing the conversion wrong. I forgot that... I thought 50 new yen was like a shitload of money.
No, of course not.
Okay,
50 new yen is like...
I would have paid. I thought he was asking me for like $50,000 or something.
Yeah, 50 new yen is like...
Okay,
you earn just a little bit more than that in a day.
Like when you said 50 new yen, I'm like, wait, what? What the fuck am I supposed to do here? Was I given $50,000?
Yeah. No, everybody else in the line is paying up 50 new yen.
I mean, I would have just paid.
All right, so you're just gonna awkwardly take out your cred chip.
Let's strike that up as autism setting
Uh
it.
huh.
I can use that.
That works
It
perfectly.
does. It works. So I just go pay them the money.
So money isn't like paper. It's like you have a stick, essentially, a cred stick, and you need to contact it to another cred stick, and you're going to see a little amount on it, and then you press OK. The other person presses OK, and that's a transaction. The guard sees you take out your cred stick, and he just waves his in front, barely even looking at you. You're gonna pay.
Yep.
All right, so you pay, and I suppose you wander over inside, and the priest just looks at the guard, and the guard just gives him a nod, and they let you in.
Yeah.
As soon as you're inside, there's another line. Everybody is being herded through, and you see a lot of well-to-do people dressed very similarly, in fact. And that's really what seems why they're well-to-do, even though a lot of them are metahumans, orcs, trolls, elves, dwarves, whatever, the scum. So another guard is just shoves you. This time they don't even ask. He just shoves you into the line, and they seem to be handing out clothes. You're just gonna wait in line, take the clothes?
I guess.
The clothes look nice. They look like they're Sunday clothes, essentially. And the lady handing them out just says, "Take good care of them. Make sure you wear this next time you come. Thanks. Next."
And take my outfit.
You have a sign that says changing cabinets, and you see something like 300 people herded in front of what seems to be narrow entrance to the right. You're gonna wait there as well?
Yeah, I'll just generally be a pushover for a while.
Yeah, some like troll elbows his way in front of you, and you can't say anything because he's 7.5 foot tall.
My
You're
abilities
tiny.
are using a gun in magic. There's not much else.
Yeah. By the way, they let you have your gun, carry your gun in.
I do have my gun on me.
Yeah.
Alright.
You do see on like upper balconies that sort of open up on this giant interior space, a bunch of people with rifles, wearing a giant comical almost cross on their uniform. So you change into these like nice looking clothes, but you look exactly the same as everybody else. And eventually you find your way to the upstairs area. And the upstairs area is like half a football stadium's worth of just rows and rows of benches. I'm just gonna go there and take a seat.
Yeah, just go with the flow for a while.
I mean, you do have your instructions, so you could just, go to someone who's staff, or you could actually attend the ceremony if you wanted to.
So I'm here to place a literal Bible somewhere.
You have a sack of Bibles with you, mind you.
So I imagine I'm not supposed to open the Bible.
You have a duffel bag with Bibles that are inside of a plastic bag, and each of the Bibles are individually wrapped in a wrapper.
Like, I'll use my intuition to tell that if it's in a wrapper, I'm probably not supposed to just open it.
I mean, you could actually make the first roll of the night to kind of figure out what the hell this is.
Okay, how do I just roll a d20 or What modifiers do I put on it?
We'll have you roll. So you have intuition 3, any skills to speak of. Computer 4. Wow. Okay. Counterspelling, dodge.
An above average computer user.
Yeah. Intimidation, leadership. The hell is longrams?
Long arms?
Long arms. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I assume that's rifles.
Okay. Roll a d10. Difficulty 8.
What is that? What do I do with the 8?
So just roll a d10. We can tell. Okay, you have. Like, you can tell you're not supposed to touch these things, and there is something curious about them, which is that when they swing around in your bag, not only do they seem heavy, but it doesn't seem like they open and close it inside the bag when they shake around like a book would. So that's it. You can't really tell anything else about it.
Yeah, so it's roughly what I would have been able to pick up anyway.
The soft church Gregorian chanting music is interrupted by a PA announcement that says, tonight's congregation is required to attend the ceremony that will start and then a robotic voice, 40 minutes. So you're standing in the middle of this giant poly club, this ultra church. You could go take a seat, wait 40 minutes for there to be something, or you could walk around. There are food courts. Plural. There are multiple food courts where people seem to have gone to eat before a sermon. It's like people come after work to essentially live, really.
Is it good food?
You have no idea. Maybe it's Catholic food.
I mean, I guess I go check out the food.
The food looks exactly like what you've been producing. It's all like the typical Nutri-Soy foods, but with like little crosses on them, and the fries are shaped like crosses, and you realize that you've been making all of this food. This is your job.
It's not that. Well, it's nothing special food. I just keep.
You also see a charity line. So a line where you can get free food. And as far as you can tell, they just hand over like random articles to people who are in that line. It's full of trogs and orcs and unsavory types.
It doesn't seem like a friendly line to stand in for a while.
Well, I mean, everybody's very civil, but you could do that if you want to.
I haven't been given any instructions what to do here. Just to come here and drop a Bible, so I guess I get in line, get free shit, because I'm poor.
So you're waiting in line, and all the other orcs in line they're bored, so they just stare at you intimidatingly.
I knew this would happen.
And since you're really tall, and they're pretty short and squat, like a solid 8 of them can stare at you at a time. So you have 8 menacing trolls and orcs staring at you.
Do I have a phone that I can pretend to be getting a call from to step out of line?
You have a comm link, but people don't answer the comm link. The comm link is usually implanted into their brain. You don't actually need to move your jaw to have conversations anymore. You just need to think them. That is, if you're well-to-do and you have an implanted comm link, which you don't. So yeah, you could pull out your comm link like a real poor person.
Yeah, I pull out my comm link and pretend to get a phone call and walk away.
You're in a line though. So do you walk out a line without food?
How big is the line?
Like you have like 12 people in front of you.
How quick is it moving?
The troll at the end of the line is arguing with the wage slave to get an extra ration.
Okay,
Seems that he got a pretty like a damp looking burger. Like the bread actually got some water in it.
I mean, there's the option of mind controlling them, but it's probably not a good use of it.
So here's the thing about your magic. Like you could do it. You could do mind control, but it would be very weak and nobody could really see it, and all you would be doing is muttering under your breath. But if you want to do like a full forced spell, you're going to start like waving and doing shit.
As long as I ramble madness, people just think I'm insane, right?
You could do that in this line. The previous line, in front of a security guard, mumbling like a madman to him, you would have gotten kicked out. Like it would have been obvious something is up and you're maybe casting magic. But here you do this and it just, nobody's going to know.
I don't know.
Nobody's going to really care.
I don't even know why we've been discussing for a minute using a spell just to get further in line for free food, but
Yes, you could do that.
I probably shouldn't, and the orc is holding up the line.
Troll.
Oh, are they gonna get mad if I call them the wrong thing?
Oh yes, especially here in the House of God.
Am I starving?
Yeah, you're pretty hungry. You worked all day on food. You made food. You've been staring at food all day and you haven't eaten. You can feel that pit in your stomach.
But the line isn't moving, like, indefinitely.
That troll is still arguing, and the wage slave seems to have gone to the kitchen now. And he's eating the burger that was put on the counter, in fact.
Why is my guy's adventure so fucking petty?
You notice that you're the only human in line, in fact.
Can I like do a small mind control and
you can mutter like a crazy person and try to pass that off somehow at force 1. And that would be enough to give the troll the idea that it's over and that he should leave, for example. Or that the troll or that the orc should stop staring at you.
Like, should I like a mind control to the orc that make him think that he heard a guard call him I don't know, a racial slur for him.
You're simulating sound, so that's different than mob mind. Mob mind is you give someone the instinct to do something. So make them feel hungry, make them feel not hungry.
Okay, I make him feel like he has to take a shit.
That is okay, yeah, that could work. Force 1. Force 1 is like he kind of feels like he needs to use the bathroom. Like you're in a movie theater and you feel like you want to use the bathroom, but you prefer just wait another hour. That's force 1. Force 2, you could wave a little your hands around like you're doing something, and it'll be obvious you might have cast a spell right there.
Let's do force
and
1.
Yeah, he'll definitely need to use the force 1.
There's armed guards everywhere, so like I assume I know about the magic ban.
Yeah, but like, the ratio of guard to person is like 50-1. There's like a massive amount of people in this giant food court. All dressed the same too. Like most of the people have this like standard like uniform thing you were handed out.
It's just gonna.
So yeah, it's up to you. If you can cast Force 1 without getting noticed.
It's gonna be like
except
a movie
by the other 8 orcs in line.
So if I cast Force 1, then the other orcs near me know.
Yeah. They'll see you muttering like an insane person. But, whether they actually do something about it is different. If you do something and they don't feel anything, they might not care.
I mean, even if they know what I'm doing...
This is Shadowrun, man.
Even if they know what I'm doing, I'm just getting rid of the guy in front of us. So... I'll fucking cast Force 1, make him think that he needs to go take a shit.
The troll that's holding up the line?
Yeah.
Alright. Roll 6d10.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a pass. And let's see. Yeah, no critical glitches, which is a 1. And you got a 10 in there. Yeah, that troll, he starts doing the thing kids do when they want to go to the bathroom. And like he's looking at the kitchen. All of a sudden, like he looks uncomfortable. The other orcs in the line saw you do that. They're looking at you like, and they're looking around like, what happened? What happened? He cast a spell. What happened? Hey, what's up with that, homie? What'd you just do?
It was.
Come on, cough it up, you damn idiot. What'd you just do?
I look around. I avoid eye contact as best as I can.
Hey, and he sets a hand on your shoulder, and you can feel the other orc behind you, kind of like he's becoming like a flesh wall behind you. So you're pinned up against another orc. Okay. Hey, what'd you just do?
Okay, well,
I saw you.
Freeze frame. What is the? Is it like if people see a magic caster? Is it like a terrorist thing? Like everyone hates it?
No, not at all. Minor magic is actually fairly common.
Okay, I fucking...
And they know what magic is.
Okay,
they've seen it in the Tridios. They've seen it in the media, and they've some of them might even be magic casters in your fucking line, but very minor ones.
I say, look, he was gonna be there all day, and we're all hungry.
The troll is walking away, actually, from the line as you're saying this. Whoa. You did it to him? What'd you do to him?
Like,
What are you, one of those humanist types?
I just made him think he's got to go to the bathroom. All right.
You think we metahumans are? You think we're push? I think it's all right.
Look, he was.
I'd
never do it to an orc. I'd only do it to a troll. All right.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You're all right. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
And he just turns around, and you could see the wage slave actually comes back, had been hiding and waiting for the troll to go away. And she comes back with a big platter of like soggy fries and burgers and like really not very nice looking chicken nuggets. Like they kind of stick together, and she just puts that down, and the orcs in front of you, like they start picking off that food and leaving. What do you take now that you're at the platter of food?
Well, it's just food, right? I just grab whatever looks good, whatever looks the most appetizing.
So you take like the best looking burger and the best looking fries?
Yeah.
The orc right behind you sees you do this, and he's just freak.
Let's go. Okay.
Yeah, you just pick up your shit and leave. Shut the fuck up.
Do I say shut the fuck up? I would just say.
No, he says shut the fuck up. As you start talking again, he's shut the fuck up.
All right. And I just walk away.
Well, you've got yourself a burger, 2 curly fries that look kind of soggy, and some chicken nuggets that kind of stuck together in the fryer. You're chowing down in that food court, and you'll look at the clock, and even though that felt like a lifetime, only 5 minutes have gone by. You still have your instructions, so you can decide any time to.
So I gotta find a place to set a Bible down. So.
Well, no, the list says, so you have a list with a bunch of addresses. And the first one is the St. Ferdinand Poly Club, which is where you're in. It says number 1, St. Ferdinand Poly Club. And next to it, it says all expenses covered. And it says
when does the
negotiate pay next to it, like in handwritten script. And then it says find contact, and that's all it says. And then it's just a list of addresses that go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 11, with different addresses on them.
So when does the congregation happen?
According to the clock, 35 minutes.
Okay, so is that room empty?
That room is like slowly filling up with people. You don't even have to attend technically, They have several sermons. That's just the first one of tonight.
Okay. How does what does it got one? Does it have one of those speakers, podiums?
It has.
On stage.
You know, like when the president does his speech in the inauguration.
It's got a podium, right? That's a podium.
That's the exact same scale, but it's inside a giant room. So you're inside of a building. You're on the first floor. The second floor is one enormous room with a gigantic podium at the very like front. That is like 50 feet in the air, essentially. You have to have like stairs leading up to it. It's like a giant courtroom, but very big. And you have benches and benches and benches.
And what kind of people are filling up in the room that I can tell?
You see the well-to-do types have already settled in at the front.
So this is a
and
gathering.
You see towards the back
and towards people. Okay.
Yeah, you have influential. Maybe they're just wage slaves, who have actual jobs and like you do, and who are at the front of this congregation. And at the back, you can clearly see like the benches that curve up like a baseball or like a giant stadium. Yeah, the people who are on there, those are metahumans, and they have food with them, which is not allowed. And you see kids running around and yelling. Yeah, the front is like silent, and you're near the organ, and you can hear the speakers very well. And the back is not nice. And the front is already filled up.
And my instructions are just to leave one Bible at each of these locations.
Yeah, no, the locations are different places around town. Where you are right now is the first location, which is St. Ferdinand Poly Club. And all it says next to it is not, it doesn't say drop off next to it. It says find contact.
Your mic is dying. What was that?
Okay, here we go. So where were we? Right, you take a bite out of your burger and you understand why it was on the free food plate. You just bit into raw, unflavored soy, and it tastes like eating talcum powder. Probably a burger that one of your coworkers made, and it's disgusting, and you don't feel like eating anymore.
Well, I'm just glad I wasted that time in line.
Yeah. I mean, you've gone through the fries and the chicken nuggets, just the burger is no good.
So I was figuring out
Yeah, that list.
what the place.
So I'll write it in for you.
So one
The list
Bible,
goes
one Bible per location.
Poly Club.
So my guy is aware that something is off.
Something is off. Well, you've just joined a poly club by paying 50 new yen, and you've got your Catholic person clothes, and now you're in a food court.
Something is off with the Bibles.
Oh, well, yeah, you can tell that they're kind of goofy. Like they don't open like normal books would, and they're kind of heavy. Maybe that's just because you have a lot of them in a bag, but you can't really figure out what's wrong with them.
So, well, I mean, I'm sure that they would love a new book on that podium on stage. I'm sure that is what I'm here to do.
That's what's written on the paper, and so like 4 and 5 and whatever has like different.
Oh, that's what that was. Find contact, negotiate pay. So I'm negotiating with some guy who's here.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Oh, well,
You don't know who though.
Huh. I thought I was okay, that's different than what I thought I was gonna do.
Yeah, you weren't about to make a drop off of a Bible in a giant super church full of Bibles. That wouldn't make much sense.
Yeah, that's well, I mean, you know, not just any Bible, a very unique Bible that can reach.
And by the way, just so you can visualize it, the size of the area that you're in, think half of a football stadium.
Like a mega church.
Yeah, it's like if I took a football stadium and I folded it on itself, so that makes a vertical building.
Okay.
That's how big it is. It's huge. And there are hundreds of people in this food court.
So I have to use my below average charisma to deal with people. Oh, wait.
I mean, you cast a spell and got away with it.
That's it. So.
And people just assume that you were like a corp. So when you cast magic, people just assume that you're a corporate magician. They have those. Magicians who aren't like registered and have a bunch of permits, or who don't work for a corporation, that's illegal. That's very illegal. But generally, people assume they don't exist, and they don't really do anything about them anyways.
Yeah. So.
It's kind of like being an illegal in America if they had actual law enforcement for it. If ICE actually did its job in most states.
Yes. So I am not here to plant a bomb to kill a shitload of people. I'm here to
Well,
find a
who said the
contact.
bombs? And bombs would actually be very heavy of that size. But
Well,
yeah, no, you're not
they're
actually here to do that.
they're future bombs though, so they could be anything.
Your local factory preacher did not hire you to bomb a church
Yeah, but like a
for
rival
no
church,
apparent pay.
a rival church that maybe they're competing with. That's what I thought was going on. So I'm like, okay, so I should plant one of these Bibles that's going to release like nerve gas into like this room full of influential people.
Okay. So are you back? Can you hear us?
Yes, I'm back.
So right now,
So like nothing.
Dante-
We have basically achieved nothing. I made an orc think that he had to take a shit so that I could get further in
he
line.
has navigated the corporate landscape of the world expertly.
Mhm.
And he has used magic to make a metahuman feel like going to the bathroom so that he could cut in line.
I was under the impression that I was here to blow up the building, but I'm only here to
He
find
was
a
also
contact.
too autistic and retarded to understand the instructions he was given and thought he was here to bomb a church with Bibles. And so right now he's sitting in the food court and he's just taken a bite out of like a second grade free burger that they give in the charity line that was disgusting.
So I casted a spell and got hassled by orcs for it, so that I could get further in line to eat a food that I didn't even want to eat.
I think this is indicative of how the game's gonna end up going for the rest of the game.
Yeah. Luke the Fries.
Yes.
So last we left you, you had gone up to the employee. No, you were wandering around the
I
church.
was wandering around, looking at their operation. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So right now we're where we cut off with Dad was 35 minutes before the sermon. So while Dante was wandering around trying to get free food and avoid Oryx beating his skull in for doing so, you notice that in about an hour the sermon's going to start, and you're going to be participating in that sermon. You're going to have the opportunity to pitch your little cult farm to the congregation of about 10,000 people that are going to be there. So it's up to you. You can prepare for the sermon, or you can wander around some more.
Okay. I've already. Well, what I was planning on doing was wandering around a little bit until it was like 6-ish or whatever, and then meeting up with the employees, talking to the management and whatnot, saying hi to people.
All right, so you walk into what looks like your average corporate office. In fact, it seems that they have like a secluded area that is just an office. And everybody has their little badge with a cross and their name on it, and one of them is the manager, Jeremy, from the phone. You recognize, and he's in a meeting right now. You can see him through like the glass wall of your average corporate meeting room. It seems he's giving a pep talk to a man dressed as a preacher and several other people. And they have a slideshow on that says, appeal to emotions, use body language. And after a while, they finish up, and he steps out and he shakes your hand. It's so good to have you, Luke. If you don't mind me calling you by your first name.
Not at all.
It's company culture, we're all family here. Right. So you must want to hear about the sermon, right? So the sermon's going to start. 10, 20 minutes of our usual, and then we plug our products. And then usually, the latecomers finally come in, and that's when we have you making your announcement on the behalf of. And what the hell is the name of your cult?
Let me see if I can't remember here. It's let me come up with a good synonym. Give me 1 second. Trying to remember. It was Dr. Luke's Holy Healing Congregation or something like that. I
Dr.
think
Luke's
that's what it
Holy
was.
Healing Congregation. Okay,
Yeah,
and you
just
guys are in
Dr. Luke's
Ohio.
Holy Healing. Yep.
So you come up with a
Okay.
cult,
Dr.
but you
Luke's
didn't have a
Holy
name
Healing.
for it.
What's
Sorry?
it?
So you came up with like a cult group, but you didn't have a name for it.
No, I had a name, but I came up with the name like 3 hours ago.
Dr. Luke's Holy Healing Congregation. So, and you'll have the opportunity to pitch Dr. Luke's Holy Healing Congregation services to the congregation here that's going to be here tonight. And they'll have the option to sign on and to, spend a weekend or a week there?
It's we initially start with a weekend just to give
Right.
people an introduction, show them what we're all
Yeah.
about.
And so the fee for being for having the opportunity to speak has already been covered by your father, as you may know. And here at the St. Ferdinand Poly Club, we're the largest poly club in town, and a lot of shaking and going has been happening around here with all the disasters and the metahuman riots. And well, I'm not here to bore you. We could always use some help from the St. Luke's Holy Healing Congregation. And
Of course.
we'd be willing, in fact, to waive the fees and to include you in our marketing in a more proactive way if you could help us around here a little bit. Because these, few weeks have been very difficult for us. We're a bit overwhelmed.
Oh no, I completely understand, and I love the charitable work that your group is doing around here. I think it's great mission. And I'm definitely receptive to what you're trying to bring across here. It's just I'll have to, talk to my father back in Ohio. He's the senior
Oh, we've
pastor.
already contacted him, and he has already agreed to this.
Oh, excellent.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. We're
excellent.
proactive in contacting our corporate partners.
I love it.
So,
Yeah, in that case.
please come in, have a seat, and he welcomes you into the meeting room, and closes the little glass door. He fiddles around on his computer, and you see the PowerPoint switch to a map of. Well, we haven't really gone over the details of what you'll be doing here. Father, he just mentioned that if you were up for it, he would agree. So Chicago. Yeah. So we are in Belmont. Belmont is controlled by the Monte family. The Monte family. They're gangers. Yeah, they're gangers. So the gang controls Belmont, and relations have been good for now, except some of their local constituents have not been receptive to the church's advances, especially the neighborhoods more where there's a lot more and that sort of thing.
I'm sorry, you cut out.
Right. So this neighborhood here, and he points to like the bottom corner of Belmont. says, so have not been receptive to the church's services and advances, and well, they took care of charity, but they don't seem to be welcoming the presence of church services. And we'd like to amend that relationship, and part of doing that is sending someone who is, we'll say, a neutral actor in all of this, to try to amend relationships there. One of Silpa rings have organized something of a meet between the local capos and the church, and we'd like you to attend that. No, I'm sure that sounds very dangerous, especially for someone coming from the First Nation in Ohio. You guys don't really seem to rub shoulders with gangers very much, luckily for you. But I assure you, and the violence is very much something that happens in the streets. So would you be willing to attend this?
Yeah, I see no issue. I can certainly act as intermediary or just a neutral party. I mean, I'm largely unaffiliated.
All right.
I'm here to
Just as you're saying that, like while you're still actually saying that, someone walks in, a girl walks in, and puts a comm link in front of you, and then exits the conference room. He says, "So
continue.
Everything that you need to know, it's on the comm link, and if you ever need to contact the church's protective services, you'll be using that comm link. That is,
Now you've cut out again.
What is wrong with that microphone?
Usually works fine. Hello.
Working.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Usually works. Right, so you can meet tonight. Your father has already negotiated the extra marketing that he's going to get for putting his son in a dangerous position. Negotiating with a Selpa ring. A Selpa ring, a criminal, a semi-criminal.
Yeah, you're out again.
This cannot be it.
Are you on a laptop or something?
Change to push to talk.
Why?
I don't think that
Because
will fix it.
No, I can see it myself. It's my own connection that's going in and out.
Okay.
I'm sorry about
Mic'd
that.
up, no sound comes out.
Someone's messing up the Wi-Fi at home. Fucking corporations trying to hack my game.
Yeah, dab on them.
Yeah, I wanted to trick more.
Don't dab too hard.
So you'll be meeting with local capos, which are gangs, and a SOPA ring has organized it. A SOPA ring is a criminal organization based out of Seoul, which are semi-corporate, and they're internationally regarded as being kind of neutral intermediaries.
Okay.
So conflicts between gangs, they go to the SOPA ring, which is another criminal organization to organize some kind of neutral ground type of stuff, and they're very influential. And so between the church and local gangs has been organized this negotiation. So he leaves. Jeremy leaves. He rushes out of the office. He doesn't even say goodbye to you. And you're left with this comm link, and you have about half an hour before your seminar you can start, saying before the ceremony. The sermon starts. Good Lord. And the same employee who came in to give you the comm link, come this way, sir, and she leads you to some like Hollywood style back room place where they have a bunch of costumes and mirrors and attendants going in and out, and she leads you into it's like this little closet where you have a mirror and a bunch of stuff, and you have an assistant there. And just, our assistant will be taking care of you before your sermon, and she just walks away.
Oh, good. I'll have time
So,
to get dressed up and
Yeah,
prepare
the assistant
my
will be
notes a
like
little bit.
grooming you and putting some extra makeup on you, and like looking at yourself in the mirror, like what she's like putting on your skin and so on and so forth. You almost suspect that it's meant to make you glow, but you'll discover that on stage. Dante, are you gonna be heading out of the food court to go to the sermon, or are you just gonna wander around some more?
I gotta look for this goddamn contact, and I'm paid to be here, so I'm going to the sermon.
All right, there's quite a few people. There's quite a few people.
Oh, yeah.
But you managed to get a seat that's like 2/3 of the way to the back. The back hasn't filled up, and there's quite a few metahumans where you're sitting, but you still see a few humans, and you can still hear the stage pretty decent. The ruckus in the back isn't really cutting off your sound.
Is there a free seat away from all the orcs?
You're actually sitting next to a family of dwarves,
Oh,
curiously enough. Yeah. Careful with your pockets around dwarves, though.
yeah, I'll keep my hands.
And on the other side of a big family of trolls, they've got like 5 kids, are sitting next to you.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah.
I mean, they might steal my gems, but
Well, you've got a big bag of Bibles on your knees.
Oh, God damn it!
You're sitting next to 2 kids, in fact, and they're both looking into the bag like you have food or something in there, and you kind of have to like shoulder check them away from your bag.
Is there room under my seat? Oh, no, wait.
Yes, under your seat is a Bible, in fact. And in front of you, curiously enough, the back of the benches have a little hollow screen that is blank for now. So you're waiting, and you can see commercials running through on the giant screen that is behind the podium in front of everything, and it's advertising the church's products. And you have all sorts of things. You have clothes that have been blessed. You have the food that you make, which have little crosses on them that say guaranteed food of Christ. The body of Christ wherever you go. And then you have a very buff man with tidy whities with a big cross on it, and he pulls out a little flask of something that he sprays in the back of his throat, and he says, super holy water vitality for the going and up and coming Christian man. And soon enough, the commercials actually die out, and you see a bunch of people sort of walk in front of the stage, and it all seems very organized. And the room actually starts going dark, and the stage becomes illuminated by golden lights. It starts getting very bright, the stage, and the people on it sort of seem to glow, in fact. And so the sermon starts, and the preacher starts talking about random like facts and factoids and news that have been happening in Chicago, and saying how you have to mourn like a bunch of people that died in the latest race riot or something. And people are kind of still noisy around, so this isn't like very interesting. You can see a bunch of people that are coming in late, like a solid 15 minutes into the sermon. You still have a bunch of orcs that are filling in the benches behind you.
No.
Luke, your makeup has been done, and you're kind of waiting in a line, like just outside the stage. And you can see like what's going on stage, and you have an assistant next to you that's saying, are you ready? Are you ready? You're up in 10 minutes. You're up in 10 minutes. So you've got your like 3 sentences that you say memorized, and you're ready to go.
They're not memorized just yet.
Yeah. It's all right. It doesn't matter. All you have to do is to plug your father's cult, and then a big advertisement's just going to play. And so, Dante, at some point, like the noise starts dying down, and on the sides, you look and you see preachers casting spells.
Oh, fuck.
And you start feeling relaxed. You start feeling really, really calm all of a sudden. And the whole congregation gets very quiet.
The dwarf kids knocked it the fuck off, right?
Oh, like the dwarf kid is still sitting next to you, but they are calm.
Alright.
The troll kid is sleeping. The troll kid fell asleep early on anyways. And you see that people are finally like being kept out of finally coming in. You have guards behind that are like closing off the stairs that lead up to this giant congregation. The preacher says, in these trying times, the faithful all over the country need to support each other. And in that spirit of sharing and spreading the word of God across the country, I am ready to introduce some of the first retreats that we have been introducing as a part of your local church poly club services. And now give it up for Mr. Luke DeFries from and I can't remember the name of his cult.
It's Dr. Luke's Holy Healing.
From Dr. Luke's Holy Healing Congregation in Ohio. And he steps aside from the podium, and Dante, you can feel the calm spell switch to a clap spell. And everybody claps.
This really is America in the future.
Clap.
Thank you, brothers and sisters.
So, yeah, the assistant like pushes you on stage. And you kind of like trip into this enormous stage. Like you have a good 20, 30 seconds of walking before you get to the podium. There are very bright light. Like this thing is inundated in golden, bright white light, and you are glowing. You're glowing, my boy. Like whatever she put on you is making you look like you are a being made of light. And here you are, you're at the podium. And the clapping spell subsides, and now it's back to the calm spell. And you have the audience's ear.
All right, I begin my spiel. Say, thank you, brothers and sisters. Each and every one of us is gathered here to worship our God and give thanks for the gifts He's given us. The Lord has given those He has chosen gifts, and it is our duty to serve the Lord through these gifts. Dr. Luke's Holy Healing, the Lord's gift to you.
And suddenly, it's a clap spell. Dante, you're clapping, and you're clapping hard. Your hands almost hurt. And it's annoying because your bag slips off of your legs and it falls on the floor, but you can't stop clapping to catch it. You feel a little violated. And then the stage goes dark and the big screen lights up, and you see this commercial for this wonderful forest retreat in Ohio, where you see a bunch of very happy looking people doing like nature activities, and you see like this magical healing procedure that they are advertising as a part of this this nature retreat. And Luke, you're let off of, you're in fact pulled off of stage from the back by a pastor, and you're back in the back of it. And the assistant says, "Well, you don't have to stay for the symposium. Jeremy tells me that you're going to be busy tonight. You're going to go to the SOPA meet, so we're going to be leading you to the loading bay." And she walks off, gesturing for you to follow her.
All right, I'll go ahead and follow her.
Yeah, you guys you navigate the sea of cubicles to like this giant warehouse looking place that seems to be underground. Dante, you're still Dante, you're still in the symposium, and it seems to go on forever. For some reason, the spell doesn't cure the boredom. And you're listening sermon after sermon, and they have an advertising just like what Luke just did. You have another advertisement for another retreat, only an hour after, and they seem to be doing this every other hour. And you've been here for 3 hours now.
God, I did this to get away from work, and it's just like work.
And before you know it, it ends. It's been 3 solid hours. Luke, you are now in a warehouse, having what looks to be a very good meal that has been brought to you, and you're eating in a warehouse. Curiously enough, next to what looks to be rows of limousines. And your assistant told you to just wait here and eat on this table that they set out for you. And you're just chowing down, waiting. Dante, as you finally get up, and you're one of the first people, in fact, to walk out of the congregation. The rest are still clapping. You see a guard gesturing you over, and he says, "Sir, you are Mr. Dino."
That's right.
Come with me, sir. Don't worry. We're not. You're not in any kind of trouble. We would
my bag.
The Poly Club just needs a word with you. That's all.
Wait, where's my bag at? Did I ever pick it back up?
Yeah, you picked up your bag, of course. Those kids were looking almost handsy. Like that dwarf kid. Something is up with dwarves where they can't keep themselves from other people's stuff. It's crazy.
Dwarfite, so I mean that's probably just normal.
And he leads you through what seems to be an office space. Curiously enough, that's secluded from this main room, and eventually you're in a warehouse. And before you know it, you're in front of the guy that just spoke to the congregation. He's having what looks to be the best meal you have ever seen. You've never had this meal before. It's too good. You see real meat. Real meat. You've never seen real meat. He's having real meat. He's having real wine. He's chowing down on steaming potatoes, and you kind of feel bad because just earlier you were having a raw Nutri-Soy burger.
I had the trick at work. Then I go into the bathroom to eat the shit I was eating.
And sort of like gestures over someone who looks to be from management, and the guy sits down and he says, "You Mr. Dino?"
Yeah.
Mr. Dino, meet Mr. DeFries.
How are you?
Hello. Doing well.
Okay.
What? Uh, and I imagine that at this point, Dino just looks back at his feet.
And I'm picturing
Some
I can
Autismo.
see everything my character is doing. I just can't. I can't like talk up the part.
Do you have,
And
Mr.
how
Dino,
are
do you
you?
have the package?
I have the Bibles.
Right, the Bibles. Yes, the Bibles. Right. Could you hand that to me?
Okay, here you go.
And he kind of carries the heavy bag and he puts it down on the table that Luke is eating on, and he picks one of the Bibles out and he tears open the wrapper and puts the Bible down on the table, and he looks at the two of you and he says, "Do you know what this is?"
I thought it was a bomb.
It looks like a Bible.
Correct, Mr. DeFries. It's a Bible. But not just any Bible, and certainly not a bomb. The church does not engage in terroristic activities.
Who is this guy?
And he opens up the Bible, and inside, the Bible's paper isn't actually paper, it's wafers of electric circuit. These are SimSense chips. You will be dropping off these SimSense chips on the behalf of the SOPA ring to appease the capos as a sign of good faith. I'm surprised you didn't lose this bag, considering it's worth, well, I'll leave you guessing as to what it's worth. And there should be 11 of these, and he looks inside the bag.
Oh,
Right,
damn it.
11. And the Bible that he's holding, he opens it up and he pulls out one of the wafers. And the way it works is the book is essentially one giant electric circuit that's been disguised as a book. And the more you pull on it, the more it comes out in one straight, like a scroll, kind of. And he pulls out this giant circuit. And he says, this one's a fake. It's a trial unit, is what they call it. The way this works is that when you'll be heading over to the capos, they'll want to verify whether you are indeed giving them real SimSense chips. So they'll do what I'm doing right now, which is pulling out the central chip, and he runs like he plugs into some kind of machine-looking thing, whatever, with a slot in it, and it pulls up a few numbers, and they should know that it's veritable product. Now, these SimSense chips are sensitive, and should you lose them, I'm sure we'll both find a way to find it and to have you pay for them. Is that understood, Mr. Dino?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you were given a list of addresses. Could I have that?
Here you go.
Right. Okay, and he looks through the list. So what these really are not street names, and he looks at you. These are the names of the capos that you will be meeting. The names aren't that important. It's just a way for me to understand that this is the right package. And he kind of trails off, and then he waves one of his assistants over, and the assistant shows up and puts down 2 ballistic vests. These are like, so you have the vests that guards wear, which are pretty big and bulky, and then you have like the vests that the police wear, and this is what it looks like, and they have big crosses on them. You'll be wearing this once on site. Mr. Dino, I believe you are armed, and Mr. DeFries, you won't be seeing any kind of that action, we assure you. Jeremy from management told me to make sure that you were in good hands, so Mr. Dino here will be your personal escort.
I sure do hope
Right,
this is
so
all just
make sure that you are
cautionary.
not separated, stay together at all times. Mr. Dino, if you want to be paid today, in the event that there is a gunfight, protect Mr. DeFries at all costs. If you are killed, the church will do its best to revive you or to replace any lost organs. We've been told by your capo that you are a man of, and he looks at you, certain abilities that you've been apparently using in our food court. And he just stares at you. Do you have anything to say for yourself, Mr. Dino?
I think I've demonstrated that I will be of use in
Right,
this
so
job.
what you will be taking is that car, and he points to a limo that looks very nice. To downtown Belmont. Once inside the premises of the meeting location, you will have no further church assistance. You understand? We won't be able to send any help.
So,
Unless, of course, this calls for divine retribution, in which case you can count on us. Once inside, do as instructed, and everything will go fine. You'll both be paid, and Mr. DeFries, your father will be happy to know that he can count on this poly club. All right, then. And he puts down what appears to be new yen, actually. 2 cred sticks, each with 2,000 new yen on them, and just rolls them to you, Mr. DeFries, not to Mr. Dino. And he walks away. You guys are left alone with a table full of very nice-looking food. Mr. DeFries, you have 2 cred sticks with 2,000 new yen on them. You have 2 advanced ballistic vests, which basically they unfold to cover the top of your thighs, all your upper body, and your neck. And they're very stylish. They have like a big cross on the back so that people can know that you're from the church. And you have a bunch of not Bibles on the table as well, in a bag. So,
all right, well,
you two can meet each other, or we can end the session here if you're busy and do the actual Shadowrun another time.
I got some time.
I have 2 hours exactly.
You have 2 hours, okay.
Like exactly 2 hours, no joke, on the minute.
Goat, would you like to be a character?
Oh man.
Wanna roll up an elf?
Oh damn. Oh yeah, I want to do that.
In fact, you could roll up a metahuman to be the capo they have to negotiate with.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Oh boy.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm the only one who actually has skills to utilize in combat, and he just has charisma and money. So we can use muscle.
He's also been given 4,000 new yen, which is implied that he has to split with you, but who knows? 4,000
what I
is what
heard-
you make in a year after what they charge you for accommodations.
What I heard was that the church was handling his payment after we get back. I didn't hear anything about splitting anything.
All right,
We have
well,
to
you two
roll
are staring at each other. Go ahead and talk it over.
Do we have to roll competing speech checks, or are we like role playing?
No, this isn't D&D. You talk to each other.
Please, Mr. Dino, was it? Sit down, enjoy some food.
Wait, did they say that we're supposed to split the money?
No, sir. What I heard was that you were gonna see the church upon my safe return, and they would handle your side of the payment. That was what I heard.
It was money for the mission, though, right?
No, this was something else. This was my personal check basically for a prior deal that we had. You see, I'm actually with the Dr. Luke's Holy Healing Congregation.
Hold
We're
on,
the
hold on.
outfit based in Otai.
It didn't seem like they knew you too well when we were in that meeting. It's like they had just sat you down and gotten to know you for the first time.
What you mean just now?
So they've traded with you before. They've met with you before.
Yeah, me and my father, we have a working relationship with the church. Yeah. You see, we're in the same business.
Oh, that checks out.
An assistant shows up, and Dag, what drug are you addicted to?
Dreamweed sounds cool.
Yeah, well, Dreamweed is debilitating, so she puts down a little, like, what looks like, like tiny gift baskets, but instead it has a little cross in the middle, and in it you recognize what is one dose of Tempo, which is a very strong drug that allows you to perceive time in a slowed down manner and gives you temporary essence boost.
Perfect for this mission, then.
You see Nova Coke, which is very recognizable because it has it's cocaine, but it aggregates into little crystals that look very nice. And you see Dreamweed tabs, and it says on it the Lord's Peace on the little wrapper, and inside they look like they're little communion wafers, but they're clearly made of dreamweed that you put on your tongue. And she says, she looks at you and she says, management says not to abuse the substances while on the job. All right?
Yeah, sure. I would never do that.
And she's walking away.
Now, listen up, Mr. Dino. The church is paying you a considerable amount to ensure my safety, and I think that using any of these substances would be detrimental to that goal.
I don't know. This one that slows down time, as I'm told, could help a little bit.
It's an awakened drug. It's Tempo. Everybody knows what it is.
Well, tempo is fine, yeah, but I was referring more to the dreamweed.
It's extremely addictive, and it's essentially PCP, but magical.
So,
I can moderate myself.
all
And
right.
you have a very strong craving for your drug because you haven't had any today. And it's been a big day. You've been stressed.
So you can moderate yourself, Mr. Dino. But right now we have a job to do. I'm gonna hang on to these drugs right now. Put them in my bag. You can hang on to the tempo.
Fine,
And
whatever.
upon safe return, and you
Dag,
get all.
I'd like you to roll an addiction resist roll.
How much is that?
He's taking away your drugs.
Okay.
So it's not as much as you need to take them right now, but someone is taking your drugs.
What do I roll?
What addiction rating do you have?
Flip it up. 3, mild.
So just roll 3d10. If you roll under, you're going to want those. You're going to want those very close to you. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
It's a little painful seeing him take those like Holy Communion wafer dreamweed little doses, but yeah, you'll let him have it.
Now I want to stress the fact, Mr. Dino, that you can have that as soon as we're back to safety. You can have all these. I'm gonna give them all back to you.
I'll
This is
remember that.
just for the duration of the job.
I better get those at the end of it.
And Dag, you don't know anything about the whole SOPA rings and so on and so forth. So you have no idea where you're going. So you don't ask, you don't know.
So we heading
Right.
where we gotta go now?
Because he doesn't.
Even if he knew, he wouldn't know.
Goat, if you know what, if you want to play, you're going to be one of the mafia capos that they're going to have to negotiate with.
Yeah, I'll leave that to the guy whose only skill is charisma.
Right? So Goat, you can make like just imagine like an orc or an elf or whatever.
If you
That's
An elf. Okay, I can do
oh, yeah,
that.
yeah, you can be an elf. The elves are great at
Very
negotiating.
good.
wait, is he? I didn't know he was a dwarf.
What?
You could be a dwarf,
Dwarfs are
which is
Jewish?
dwarves are very greedy people.
Yeah, I had to sit next to some dwarves, and they were getting really handsy with my stuff.
Yeah, the kid almost stole his priceless disguised Simpsons chips that he was carrying around.
That would
Who's the kikes?
The dwarves are the kikes.
Dwarves
Yeah.
are the stereotypical.
Well, it depends
dwarves.
which kind. See, the elves are also, but they are more social and about social engineering and manipulating people. The dwarves just want money.
Dwarves
They
are
just want
the,
money.
like the blatant caricature in all of its visual representation. And behavior.
Like the heathen Soros type Jews that are like, oh, I don't believe all the Jewish stuff, and they don't even live Jewish, but they manipulate the government, so on and so forth. Those are elves. The ones who are like, oh yeah, I'm Jewish. I go to the synagogue, and they live in the Jewish neighborhood, and they had their doctors and their financiers and their lawyers. Those are the dwarves.
If you can imagine a fully dressed Orthodox rabbi chasing a coin rolling down a street, I think that's what a dwarf is.
Yeah, in fact, a lot of the racism around dwarves involves tossing Monopoly coins at them, because now Monopoly has little coins. So yeah, just imagine a character that's also like a mafia boss that's going to be negotiating over whether the church is allowed to do things on their territory, and they don't like the Catholic Church. Okay, so it's like an elf or a dwarf. They're a mafia boss. They don't like the church, but they're negotiating with the church about whether the church is allowed to go and get some converts on their territory. Does that work out?
I'll try.
So, so we're just going somewhere to talk to a guy, right?
It's going to be a SILPA meetup, so you're going to have like 50 people in this meeting, and at some point, Mr. DeFries is going to be the central negotiator of that, and you're going to be his personal bodyguard.
All right.
I don't know about this. This is rapidly changing from what I thought it was going to be.
Are you in
Gee,
character?
well, your father agreed to it, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna give my father a quick call on the comm device just to check in, tell him what's going on.
Son, it's good to hear from you. It's good to hear from you. How are you doing?
Hey, Dad, I'm doing great.
I saw you on the Tridio. That was a great sermon. Great sermon.
Oh, I think so. I think it was
Fantastic
great.
delivery. We're gonna have so much business coming our way. I'm telling you, this is a good thing. This is a good thing, son.
I think so. I think we got a good agreement going with these guys. Good folks. So tell me, they just said that they spoke with you. They didn't really mention any of the other side of things. So what are we doing for them? How's this going?
Well, they had their whole city folk thing where they wanted someone from the congregation to talk things over with the locals so that the church could resume its services there. I was told, yeah, sure, they're like some shady types, but you're gonna be safe, and it was gonna be over in a day, and I mean, they really put up a good deal. We're gonna be in their marketing, and they're going to have us at the start of their sermon for another 2 months. Will you figure? It's gonna be big business for us.
That sounds good. I think, and it's doing good work too. I don't know if they told you what I'm supposed to be doing
Well,
here.
son, it sounds like it's nice that you're on board with this.
I think it's
I
good.
always knew I could count on you.
I think we've done a good thing. Just,
All right then. Well, I'll
looks
talk
like
to you
there's-
later, son.
All
You
right,
tell
then.
me about what this whole negotiating things over with locals went. All right.
Yeah, I'll call you as soon as I can.
All right. Been good talking. And he
All
hangs
right.
up.
All right. Okay.
You see a bunch of paramilitary guys with big crosses on their uniforms. They're picture like fucking SWAT teams, but their uniforms are 100% white. It almost looks like they're medieval knights because they have armor plates everywhere. They have big machine guns. You can almost tell that, in fact, the reason that they can carry them is because they have like cyber implants in the suits that they're wearing that carry most of its weight. And they have a big golden cross on the front and the back of the uniform. And they're getting into this limousine that's right near you. And they're putting things in the trunk as well. You guys are you're finishing your meal. Dag, have you taken the tempo yet?
Not yet.
Yeah, the tempo is very much a stimulant drug. Like you take that, time slows down, and your magic just goes on overdrive, and you have an irresistible lust to cast magic.
Is this an expensive drug? Like I'd
It's
never see it.
extremely expensive.
Okay,
Like
so
the one dose you have costs at least 500 new yen.
so I'm looking at this drug not like if I was holding regular drugs. So
Yeah.
it's different. Okay.
It's like someone handed you a dose of adrenochrome.
Yeah, so I'll just hold on to it. Am I eating real food or soy?
Well, you don't have any like forks or whatever, so if you dug in with your bare hands into like the steamed potatoes and the wonderful brisket with gravy they have there, you can do that. I'm sure Mr. DeFries will look down on your bad table manners. All right. At some point,
They didn't give me a fork.
no, they didn't give you a fork or plate or anything.
Am I allowed?
That was for
This
Mr.
is
DeFries.
my meal. I mean, they're not here to tell you no.
Yeah. Mr. DeFries is having real brisket with gravy, real potatoes, real wine. This stuff, his meal probably costs like a solid 200 new yen alone. But I mean, your little care package with the drugs and whatever, that's worth more, much more. Like the whole thing, the Dreamweed's probably the little tabs are like probably 50 new yen. The Nova Coke is probably another 50 new yen, and the tempo you have is 500 at least.
A lot of shit has happened to me. I can
more.
mitigate an appetite.
So I'm gonna go ahead and stand up and again offer, the offer. Hey, if you want some dinner, help yourself. I'm standing up. I'm gonna go approach the.
And as you're
SWAT
offering
team.
him to have dinner, one of the mercs in paramilitary outfits show up, and he walks up to you, machine gun, and he says, "It's time. Get in the car."
Right.
All right.
And so he opens up the car. Luke, you're led to sitting at the front. This limousine is nice. It's very nice. In fact, you can see that they have amenities inside, like little mini bars and that type of thing.
So I just want to make sure that I put on the bulletproof vest.
Oh yeah,
Before we
okay.
get to the.
You put that on. You have a gun with it, by the way.
Oh.
That's already holstered inside of it.
Can you describe the gun? It's just standard issue.
It's actually not a standard issue gun. Mr. Dino already has a gun, so they didn't give you one. But I'll look it up and I'll tell you exactly which one it is. Street gear, weapons. It's an SMG. Technically, so it's one of the smallest SMGs that they have. It's an Ingram Smart Gun X. Smart gun systems are guns that kind of aim on their own. So it's not really how that works, but if when you pick it up, you have a little bit of cyber, don't you?
I have all I specified was pheromone.
Pheromones, right?
Yeah,
that means
adjustable
that
pheromones.
those are technically cyber. So it means you have a
So
mini
I have
computer
the
inside of
webware,
you.
Yeah.
As soon as you pick up the Ingram Smart Gun, you almost feel on instinct. You feel on instinct like that you would know how to suppress recoil, that you would know how to aim a little better. What smart gun systems for someone like you does, it gives you an extra point of firearms. It has an improved gas vent, which stabilizes recoil. The stock, you have a stock on the front, so if you want to hold it with two hands, you can unfold the stock, and it has a sound suppressor on it. So it's a neat gun, and it's an SMG, so you can spray and pray with that one.
Okay, I have a little bit of experience with pistols, a bunch of experience with sporting rifles, none with SMGs.
So you're led into the limousine, and they drive out of this underground warehouse up a little road onto the main road, and it's silent. These mercs, you can't even see their face. They're not human beings, basically. Well, they are under there, but they're not saying anything. Dino is in the back, shouldered by two of them in like the back area of the limousine. You're in the front next to the driver. Your comlink starts like vibrating slightly.
I go ahead and answer it.
Hey, so Luke, how goes it? It's Jeremy.
Jeremy, we are in the limo on the way.
I know. That's why I'm calling you. You're about to go to the Silpa ring meet. So there's been a few developments. So while you were giving that, by the way, thank you so much. It was absolutely glowing. That little speech you gave at the symposium, right? So there's been some developments. The metahuman riots have seemed to spark up again. We think that it's actually the local capos that have been instigating them. So when you're going to get on site, there's going to be big protests, a lot of metahumans screaming and that kind of thing. It seems they've incited a little welcome party for us. But don't worry, of course, you won't be anywhere near the crowd as you walk into the building.
So is that what the extra security is for?
Sure. It's mostly just to, make you feel safe. Right. So when you're inside, you'll be led into a building. There's going to be a conference room. You're going to have SELPA representatives. You're going to have the capos of Southeastern Belmont. And they're going to have a lead negotiator there. You just walk in, you put down the product on whatever table that you're going to be sitting around. You wait for them to talk it over. And when it's your turn to state the church's case for expanding its influence in that zone, you go ahead. You just you work your natural penchant for spreading God's faith, and remind them that it's good business and that we come with a worthy gift, and they'll probably be talking percentages. 5% of revenue is a good key performance indicator to aim around. That's what we're looking for here at corporate. 5% of revenue. You got that?
5%. Now, I'm authorized to say 5%. Can't go any higher.
Well, they'll want to go any higher. See, they want a percentage of the church's revenue in that area.
Well, as is normal. Yeah, that's natural.
If you could do better than 5%, we'll give you a bonus.
Okay. But 5%
in the
is
event that the negotiations break down, you'll be escorted out of the premises.
now. What do you mean breakdown?
Well, these are gangers, and gangers tend to flip tables when they don't get their when they're sore losers. So you'll be escorted out by the team you're with, and you have your personal protection with you, of course.
This is gonna be rough.
I was under the impression that the SOPA people were to mitigate that kind of behavior.
Of course. The SOPA is here as an organizer, and incurring the wrath of the SOPA by jeopardizing one of their negotiations is never a good thing.
Okay. So is there anything else you think I need to be made aware of, or is that it?
No, not at all. You'll be in and out in no time. Oh, and of course, you won't be able to make any kind of matrix and wireless communications from inside, given that it's a blackout zone.
Is it just like a shielded meeting room? Is that what's going on, or is there a zone?
The whole area, in fact, is being beset by jammers. The matrix and comms won't be working.
Okay, so no contact between you and the team or anything will be maintained.
That's right.
Okay, well, let's hope for the best and pray.
I'll put in a prayer with you, and I have faith in you. Luke.
All right, thank you, brother.
I'll talk to you soon. And he hangs up. You arrive into what looks like the bad part of town. And you see them. The giant metahuman protests. There's something like 1,000 people, orcs, trolls, screaming, throwing things. They're even fighting each other. You can hear orc music being blasted on huge speakers, and the two other limousines that are actually escorting you that you didn't see before because they were behind you kind of drive into the crowd, pushing it away, forming a V in front of what appears to be a large door. And your limousine gets there, stops. The paramilitaries all step out. You see some of them are kind of establishing a cordon around you to fend off the crowd. And they're getting things thrown at them. The dwarf on the team is getting coins thrown at him. You can step out of the car now. The mercenary turns to the both of you and he says, you go through the door, and from here on out, you're on your own.
So,
Something happen, you run out here, and we're here for you.
so you're not gonna know unless we run out.
Correct.
Well,
Just keep that in mind.
all right. Let's go.
Well, you walk in through the doors, and inside is what appears to be an upper class party is going on. So there are people lounging around, smoking, having cocktails, talking over, and a lady in an attractive outfit, looks to be Asian, walks over and says, "Oh, you're late. You must be from the Church Poly Club. We've been waiting for you. Please follow me." And she walks up stairs that are right near this entrance. What you see around are a bunch of mafiosos, cybered up mafiosos. You walk in, so you go up the stairs. She leads you through a bunch of hallways. You end up in a conference room, huge conference room. And you can clearly tell this is being done very corny. Like, these mafiosos have set up a dimly lit conference room. It almost looks like a poker match is about to go down. You have a big table in the middle with a big spotlight, and people are already yelling at each other in this room.
Good luck.
Yeah, and you see, all the way over there, Dante, you recognize Father Jake, and he's waving you over.
You go see what he wants.
Mr. Dino, I'm so glad. Wait, what was it? Oh, yes, Dante, of course, that name. I'll never forget that. Thank you so much for making it over. I hear everything went smoothly.
I'm good at this.
I'm so sorry for keeping you in the dark about all this, my son, but the church likes to give people a chance in life. And I think this is what's happening for you, right? I think great things are coming for you, and this is a great opportunity for you, and I'm glad you're taking it.
Glad to be here.
And this must be the guest of honor.
Yes, brother. Yes. My name is Luke. Luke DeFries.
Glad to meet you. My name is, well, I go by, and he turns to Dino, Father Jake, but really I'm of upper management of the church.
I understand.
I like to mingle with the people from now and then, and as a throwback to my preacher days. And I found this young man who I thought would be worthy to be your escort today, and to see what goes on in the church. Well, have a seat, gentlemen. Go about to start.
It's good to aid the needy.
This.
And can you still hear me?
Yeah, you're coming in okay.
Yeah, my connection's telling me something goofy. Go.
Yes.
Who is your guy? What is your name? And he's sitting across the table.
George Shlomovitz. High elf.
High elf,
Low
George
elf?
Shlomovitz.
Mid-tier elf.
Mid-tier elf, George
Uh,
Shlomovitz.
I don't know what elf layers there are.
Yeah, middle elf sounds right.
Yeah, middle elf. Like your ears aren't that pointy. And
You
you're
can
not
kind of
that
blend
tall.
in.
People
Yeah.
walk up to you and say, "Oh, are you a high elf?" And then you say, "Nah, middle elf," and they just go, "Oh."
All right, you hanging around with your mafia cronies?
What am I supposed to do?
Yeah. Right now you're the lead negotiator for the for the southwestern Belmont Mafia. You're a big guy,
For you.
and you're about to talk it over with the church. You're going to try to talk them down to get some as much percentage of their revenue as possible, and get some new yen out of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right.
Negotiate.
The room kind of quiets down, and you can see drinks being put away. And oddly enough, you realize that nobody's actually checked you for weapons. You are sitting right in front of an elf with some sort of. His ears aren't that long, but his nose is. You can clearly tell he's the Eastern European kind of elf. And to your right and to this elf's left is sitting a Korean woman. She appears to be the only Korean person here tonight. The rest right in front of you is like 30 mafia guys just lounging around. The Korean lady looks at you, Luke, expectantly.
I think she wants
All
you to do
right.
something.
What does she want me to do?
I don't know.
All right.
Tell you not have a gift for our guests tonight.
Of course, ma'am. I go ahead and place the what is it? A briefcase? How
The
was he
mafia
carrying?
cronies chuckle at this.
I can imagine both the characters like whispering to each other, making frantic hand gestures. Like, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, I go ahead and put the Bibles on the table.
George Shlomo. You can go ahead and talk freely as if you're a character in the room. You know.
Oh,
He's
Sounds good already.
this church man has just put down a bunch of Bibles in front of you. Apparently,
And generally,
yes. This is good.
allow me to demonstrate. I take the one that was previously opened up, and open it up again.
the Korean woman looks at you again expectantly as you're flipping through a Bible in front of like 30 people, looking like you're about to sermon them.
what was it the other guy did? He pulled out like the central processing unit or something.
Yeah,
I
the
wasn't
Simpsons
paying-
chip.
Wait, roll
I
to
wasn't
see if
paying
he
that
has any
much attention.
electronic knowledge.
Yeah, that would be a good idea, because you can't actually know how to open a disguised Simpsons chip without some
I'll
Well,
pull up
beats
his
me.
skills.
open his
Zero
character.
electronics.
Yeah, no, you have no idea. Like
Even
you're flipping through the Bible and kind of pulling on the pages, and it
I
doesn't
fucking-
make much sense to you.
I'd stand up and fucking unscroll the thing.
Do you even know how?
Seeing
I'm a
your
computer
assistant
guy.
do that, the mafia guys chuckle again.
I'm a computer guy. I know these things.
Listen, guys, I'm the guy who says stuff. He's the guy who does stuff.
Wow, great charisma.
Right, so after like 30 seconds of spaghetti, what looks like to be the white trash man picks up a Bible and pulls out the Simpsons chip. George, you would know this to be very valuable stuff. You'd want to inspect it closer.
Yes, this is 100%. I get 100% of your profits for yeah.
What do you mean, sir?
I owe you money right now.
The mafia guys chuckle with him.
Yeah, we got these chips for you. You can have all of them.
Why is this guy asking for money?
What is this guy doing?
The Korean woman
I
sees
eat money. Okay, I have a
sees
problem.
Shlomovitz putting on a performance, and she turns. This gift of good faith. This show good faith. Show people good faith. Yes, negotiate. Mr. Shlomovitz, negotiate.
Laughing because the room is slowly filling up with laughing gas or something.
The mafia guys are laughing. Well, Shlomovitz, can you negotiate, or someone's gonna have to take over?
I came here.
I don't even know what I'm negotiating.
I roll to
On
mind
behalf
control
of the
him
church.
to negotiate for him against us.
Okay, so another mafia guy behind Shlomovitz like steps up and he says, all right, calm down, guys, calm down. The boss here," and he puts a hand down on Shlomovitz's shoulder and then respectfully takes it off. "The boss here means, your gifts are nice and all, but we know what we're here for tonight, all right? Let's talk revenue. You seen your big poly club uptown? It's looking real nice, looking real expensive. You must have some big revenue coming in from all the faithful, eh?"
Well, actually, and my congregation, my church wanted me to talk about this with you. This is, after all, what we're here for.
"Well, you see, my boss here," and he again puts down his hand on Shlomovitz's shoulder and then takes it off respectfully. "He, let's just say Catholics, not his type of people,
Well, Actually, I'm a Protestant,
Right.
and
I don't like Protestants either. Gas them. Give them the laughing gas.
and really, we're a very ecumenical organization. We're doing our charitable
Whatever.
work for the
Corpse worshipper's all's the same for me. Shlomovitz here, and he puts down his hand on his shoulder and takes it off respectfully. Let's talk revenue.
I'm sure you understand that what we're doing is expensive. You know, we're providing all this charitable work for the community, and we're doing it out of our pocket. You know, we're not seeking tithes from your community.
Yeah, sure. So, how do you pay for that giant ass collie club? Mail a town for with? How do you pay for that, Nick?
3%. I can do 3%.
You can do it 3%. He turns to Shlomovitz.
What am I? What do I look like? A Meshuggah?
All right,
50.
boss don't like it. You tell him, boss.
Church can't do 50.
Okay, 49.
Church can't do more than 5.
Okay, 10.
Now we're talking. This is
Okay,
negotiation.
15.
Look, I already explained to you that we're doing this charitable work here. We're not seeking to,
Lowest offer, 25%.
I can't do 25. You know, you said a little bit ago, you said 10. I can do 5.
What about 11?
I don't know about. I can't do 11. What about 5?
You're not sounding real reasonable, and I don't think the boss likes it. Corpse worshipper. So I'll be telling you what. You tell us why we're gonna be letting you get away with 5, eh?
Now, I still don't understand quite why the church needs to pay you anything.
This our territory, corpse worshipper. This our territory right here.
We're not making money off of your territory. We're not making money off of your people.
And my boss,
we're
Shlomovitz, he don't like you Catholic types.
Now that I can understand. That I understand. I know where you're coming from. You know, I figure we gotta make it worth your while. We gotta make it worth your boss's while. You know, going out of your way, doing something you don't really want to do. I know how it is. I know exactly what you're doing. I know how it is.
Boss Shlomovitz, how about you make him an offer they can't refuse?
Yeah, sure thing. You pay me 9% or I shoot your entire family, okay?
Now,
These are church types. They don't understand the kind of shooting, negotiating type of deal.
Let me just step out of character for a second, because this is something
Sure.
my character knows. How long does it take for me to cast Chaos World, or whatever it is?
Like, depends on what force. So the higher the force,
I'm just going like, I'm probably gonna have to go. What's
maximum.
What's max force?
For you, I think it's force 10 since you have spellcasting 10.
And the higher, the longer it takes.
Yeah, and the more crazy the casting you're going to do, but you can start actually drawing on a piece of paper some stuff. Since you're a hermetic mage, you can cast things in a different way than shouting and dancing. So it's up to you, but you'll be noticed because there's like 30 mafia guys watching your every move in here.
How long does it take for me to sketch up a Force 10?
If you're like sitting with a piece of paper, like a couple minutes. We'll say since you're a hermetic mage, you can actually inscribe as a sigil a spell. So you could inscribe it as a piece of paper and then hand it over, and whoever looks at the piece of paper has mass chaos inflicted on them.
On them and everyone around them.
Everyone that looks at the paper.
Well, that doesn't help.
That's how
much
sigils
here.
work.
We're surrounded by people, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
What happens if you just flip the paper over
What if I just
and let everybody see
Yeah,
it?
what if you just flap it around in the air? So everyone looks at it.
Well, yeah, they would look at it.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say fuck this and start flapping a paper in the air. Whatever.
You need to take the time to actually draw the mass chaos spell on there.
Well, see,
And to be sure that your friend DeFries doesn't actually look at the paper, because then he's going to have the frenzy cast on him.
all right. So I'm getting the what my abilities are then. So I start drawing on the paper and I make it look like I'm taking notes or something.
Hey, what's this clown doing with his paper? Someone look at it.
Boss don't like drawing.
Hey, what are you
Boss
doing?
don't like
Get
your
out.
drawing, boy.
Knock
Should
it
have
out.
left your kid at home.
Look, man, I'm sorry. This dude's retarded. Okay, I say that whispering.
I have a condition.
He has a condition.
Put him down. Someone shoot him.
Hey,
You
The
don't need
mafia
no
guys laugh.
retarded people in this meeting.
now we're all children of God, regardless of our mental states. So can we just please calm down? There doesn't have to be any shooting going on.
We're waiting on you, Shlomovitz.
Hold on, can I?
Yeah, it's
What if I?
no one shoot anyone, okay? We're still negotiate.
One second. Can I draw with like?
20%.
Can I draw with like Can I carve a sigil on my hand with like a sharp paper clip? Or some shit?
Yeah, but that would hurt. That would hurt. Yeah. And someone needs to be able to actually see the whole thing, you know?
It's just like I'm doing it under my sleeve, and then I just start fucking throwing my hand at everyone.
So everybody's like sitting back, looking cool, and then there's that one guy fucking twitching, doing something in his sleeve next to the guy negotiating. Sure.
No, just imagine that you're like controlling, like a.
No one's gonna
marker.
say anything to that, but it's gonna look fucking strange.
Well, then.
It's okay.
That's what
They're probably just gonna figure you're a tweaker or something.
That's what I start doing, because this negotiation is going horrible.
All right.
This negotiation is going as planned. There's no problem.
It's going perfectly. What are you talking about?
It's fine.
All right. And I turn to Boss Shlomovitz and I say, "No, Boss Shlomovitz. How about we give him a little catch on the deal? How does that sound?"
Oh, okay. You give me 9%.
Like, you know, maybe we tax them directly, you know? Like, we let them have their 5%, but sometimes we collect the tithes, you know? Since it's our territory.
That's a good plan. Do what he said.
Do you say that to Luke?
You said that to me? You talking to me? You talking to me?
I don't see anyone else here.
And I turn and I say, so, church boy.
Yeah.
the boss and we talked, and he says, maybe we give you 5%, maybe, but also maybe we collect tithes round here, you know? Charge some extra protection to all you corpse worshippers.
You know, sometimes you gotta have protection. You know, it's dangerous out there, these streets these days. You know, lots of unrest, lots of violence. We don't want any of that.
Sound good to
I
you,
think-
boss?
Yeah, sounds peachy.
Sounds peachy. I think we may be able to agree to that.
We agree that sounds peachy.
Father Jay gets up and he just gives you a nod and walks out of the room. But negotiations are clearly not over, though. So you two are still there talking.
So
He just
was that
excuses
was
himself
that a
out of the
good
room.
nod? Oh dear.
Yeah, no, Father Jake gets up and he gives you a nod. He says, "Keep going. I just need to take a call."
Oh dear.
And he leaves.
Well.
So the mafiosos are like laughing and giving each other's big slaps on the back. You see the Korean woman get up and say, "Negotiation over? Yes? Yes?"
Sure.
I, I don't know. I guess.
"I guess not good enough, church boy. Negotiation over?"
Wait, did we win?
Oh, I don't think we
What?
won. I don't think so.
Okay,
I
good.
just want to clarify a
And she
point.
gets up and leaves the room.
Okay, negotiation's over.
Yeah, negotiation's over. She leaves the room.
After she already
You are
left.
left with a bunch of mafiosos in the room who are laughing. Oh, they're laughing.
What are they laughing at?
Not
I
me.
know, some of it looks pretty cool though. He's just looking at you. All elf-like.
Yeah, you see, the joke here, the reason they're laughing is I'm not actually the boss here. The guy that was talking to me was.
All right. You hear some noise downstairs all of a sudden. You like that downstairs area where people were like having a party or whatever. Like the music is still there, but you're starting to hear like people like moving furniture around or something. The mafiosos don't seem to notice anything.
Well, gentlemen, it was a pleasure negotiating with you.
Yeah, fuck off, church boy.
Sure thing, dude. So let's get out of here.
Like max charisma. Sure thing, dude.
So yeah, you walk out, or you can stay there.
I don't want to stay here.
All right.
Well,
So, what reason would they have to stay with a bunch of jokers?
They're laughing at things that I don't think are funny.
so wait, did we win the negotiation? Were we under 5%?
Well, the negotiation is that the church only has to pay 5% of the revenue from the area to the mafiosos, but the mafiosos get to charge extra protection on the worshippers, on
That
the
sounds like
faithful.
that sounds like a win to me. I mean, they only said
I think,
5%,
yeah.
so they didn't say watch out for any workarounds. They said 5%, so we did good.
We did good, and it's not like the mafia is not going to be charging extra to everybody around here, anyways.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. It's totally
So,
what's gonna happen.
Yeah, so what, you walk out of the room or something? Yeah. Looking,
Yeah. I'm done. I don't think
Dino,
there's
you
nothing better
you
I
have
can
that sigil now. It's all mapped out. You wanna do something, or you just wanna walk out?
Uh, what,
You etched a sigil on the palm of your hand, and anybody that sees that is gonna go nuts.
this will stay on my hand, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can just make a fist until you need to make someone go insane.
Well, I have no reason to do that. They're all laughing at him, not me. So I did my job.
As you're walking out, like you see Shlomovitz kind of like pulling apart the Bibles, like just laughing with the mafia guys. Like, they gave us a bunch of Bibles.
So
Were
they-
And
those not?
curiously enough, there's nobody to escort you out. So you're walking through the hallways, and you get to the stairwell, and you start walking down, and then you see
in character,
the head. Sorry.
in character, I have a question for him.
Yeah.
Were
Sure.
we supposed to
You
give
guys
them
talk
the
on the way out.
Bibles?
That's what. Yeah.
Did they say specifically Bibles? And were we sent here to give them the Bibles?
That's what they told me to do. Yeah.
I'm just clarifying. Because it seems like we fucked something up.
No, I mean those were the Bibles you were carrying, right?
You gave them the Bibles. I was just carrying them.
Oh,
Why are they
those are the
ripping them
Bibles
apart?
you gave me.
I don't think they know what those Bibles are. That seems kind
No,
of
they
weird.
know. They know. They were just like tearing
Well-
the chips out of them.
You're no longer carrying the Bibles.
And that's true.
I'm
So
just,
clearly those are the Bibles that
just
you were
clarifying.
carrying.
Just clarify
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
didn't fuck something up.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Your voices echo across empty hallways and empty rooms you're passing through.
Oh wait, hold. Wait a minute.
I thought there was a party going on down here.
Yeah, not upstairs anymore, apparently.
Wait, I was sent to the church to give them Bibles
The
that were
Bible?
electronics. Why did I have a bag filled with Bibles? I didn't.
Because the
you
electronics
were
in the
carrying-
Bibles.
Yeah.
So I
This
just
guy.
kept carrying the Bibles that the things were inside of.
Yes.
Okay, whatever. I just kept carrying the Bibles after we were done with them.
Yeah. Well, now they're on a table as a gift to the mafiosos for negotiations.
Okay, just making sure.
Because, like, okay, so now that that bag is out of the way, the whole thing's worth about 30,000 new yen, which is, and it's like a sign of good faith because, you're in Chicago, and Chicago's main produce is SimSense chips, and those SimSense chips are going to be given to mafiosos so that they can use them because it's SimSense. They're going to use them to, like, feel very good, or feel high, or like whatever. And they like them. So you just gave them a bunch of, like, cool products, essentially. But 30,000 is nothing because the church's revenue from the faithful in that area could be in the millions.
So, okay, we didn't fuck anything up. So we were walking down the stairs and we saw the boss.
Yeah, you're just walking down the stairway when you see one of the mercenaries dressed all in white with the crosses, and he's got a hand in front of him with a "don't make a noise" gesture on it.
but you can be sure I'm not making any noises.
And then he waves you down so that you can walk down the stairwell.
Let's
All
go.
right.
Downstairs, like that small downstairs area where mafiosos were having a party, it's a morgue now. And a bunch of church mercenaries have ninja'd the hell out of like 8 different mafiosos who are just corpses on a couch now.
Oh boy.
The music is still playing, and you see Father Jake on a couch having a drink, surrounded by what seems to be like 12 different mercenaries.
I bet you fucked
He
something
waves
up.
you over.
Brother Jake, what's going on?
Keep your voices down. We wanna have them think that this is still a party down here. Now, you see, you did good. You negotiated your 5%, and the church is grateful for that. But there's just something about that Shlomovitz and his boss, and the way they talked about charging protection. That's not honest business. We've talked it over at the Sopa Ring, and they're allowing us to restructure their management today. And he gives you a look. Now, sometimes doing God's work, it's a bit more complicated than in the sixth world. It's sometimes it comes to when push comes to shove. The church has to put its foot down. And
Well, I can't disagree. The Lord
all
said
right, well, I'm glad you do.
the Lord said he did not come in peace, but swinging a sword.
That's absolutely true, Mr. DeFries. It's absolutely true. So what's about to take place here is we're going to send our boys here upstairs, and let's just say that if they're not amenable to passive negotiations, we're going to have to put a couple of them down. As an example, we do still need you here, though, Mr. DeFries, if you're willing, of course. You are, after all, our neutral intervener. And he looks at you. Would you be willing to talk things over with whoever the new management is after our little restructuring that's about to happen? And you see mercenaries are walking up the stairs now.
Now, I'm sure you're familiar with the original terms of my involvement here. Low risk.
Sure, low risk. Well, you won't be the one kicking down doors, will you? Gives you a smile.
Of course not.
We just need you to do what you've just done right upstairs, again. But this time you'll be talking to someone much more reasonable, I think.
That should definitely be easier.
All right.
I have no problem with that. You let me know when you need me.
You start hearing a lot of footsteps just over your head. Well, we'll be going upstairs right about now, and you see that the mercenaries have emptied out of the room, and they're all upstairs. Father Jake is walking upstairs as well.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and follow Jake.
And
These are where the guys with the guns are.
yeah, Mr. Dante, you follow your assignment, or you gonna check it out?
Wait, they're going up to rough them up, and then they will send us.
Rough them up, probably killed a couple of leaders that they had up there, and make a new deal with whoever's left.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna tell him that we should wait outside in case something happens. Wait
Wait
outside.
outside.
At the room.
What with
outside
the
room.
metahuman protest?
No, outside
Wait
the
outside.
room.
My son, they'll rip you apart.
Outside the room, like by the doorway.
And you hear gunshots now. And now you hear explosions. Father Jake is still walking towards the conference room. You follow him.
Yeah, I'm just following brother Jake. I'm
Yeah.
not about to
You're not looking
go
like
into
a
a room where
chicken.
people are still shooting.
Same.
You can tell you have that faith of God carrying you through.
Well, it hasn't led me wrong yet.
Your autistic bodyguard is not doing a very good job being a bodyguard.
Damn. Damn.
He's kind of hanging
Yeah.
around behind, kind of like
I'm a
looking around corners.
Yeah.
That is a solid dab right there.
What are you doing, man?
Wait, this is the guy who told me what to do, and now he's leading you around, so he knows where he wants you to be. I'm
Well, I
following.
mean,
I'm still
from your
nearby.
perspective, you're like walking around. You've just asked whether you could leave, and these two church guys are just confidently walking through towards like the source of what appears to be a gigantic firefight taking place.
Well, I was saying I was telling him maybe we should wait like the outside the door to the room where everyone is dying.
Yeah, no, and
I'm
he heard
following.
that, and then he immediately said, "No, you come."
All right, then. Yeah, I followed.
As you walk down a hallway, which is like just before this conference room, you see dead people. You see corpses. Corpses of church mercenaries on the ground, and you count 3. One guy's head is missing.
Wait, who are these guys? These are the
These
dead
were
guys?
the church mercs.
Oh boy.
Yeah, don't you worry, my son. It's these things happen. These mafia types, they're always resolute to the most extreme of means. And you come within about 50 feet of where the conference room is, and he stops and he waits, looking at the entrance. And after a while, you see one of the mercenaries poke his head around in the doorway and wave Father Jake over. And Father Jake starts walking towards the entrance. You follow him. Hello?
Yeah, we're following
Okay.
Father
Yeah,
Jake.
okay, all right. Father Jake walks into the entrance, and you're right behind him. What you see is a very curious scene. The elf is dead. Yes, he's very dead.
Rip
fact-
Shlomo, Vince.
His legs are like right near the entrance. His torso is on the table. And what appears to be one half of his face has now painted the wall behind him. A bunch of mafiosos are dead. You see 3 mafiosos are being treated for having lost a limb. Out of the 11 mercenaries you are with, 8 are dead, and 3 are just standing around pointing machine guns at hostage mafiosos. And
I guess we'll never
Father
know
Jake.
why that guy was so crazy.
Yeah, no, like clearly he was probably one of the first people to die because he must have been standing in the entrance when this happened. Out of the 30 or so mafiosos that were in the room, a solid 20 are actually on their knees, hands on their neck, waiting at the back of the room. with one guy with a machine gun pointing at them.
Well, this is what happens to those who abhor the Lord's work.
Yes, indeed, my son. Yes,
It's
indeed.
also what happens to people that ask for 50%.
So, are we willing to engage in reasonable negotiations now?
The mafioso guys just look around at each other, and one guy speaks up and he says, "Yeah, sure thing. We're not like our bosses, you know. They had it out for the church, and we're not like that, you know."
I'm glad.
Yeah, I'm glad too. I'm glad too.
Good. We'll give you 3%. No tithes.
Father Jake steps over and says, "Now, my son, 3%. After the cost of what's happened here today,
What do you figure?
I think a symbolic 1% is,
Percent?
well,
As the Lord leads.
you do as you see fit, my son.
No.
I trust you on this."
What am I supposed to do now?
It's all right, guys. We'll let you have the Poly Club here in town, and like we won't be charging much at all. Just enough to like cover the infrastructure and because like it's a poly, yeah, right?
Yeah.
You see someone, you hear like one of the mafiosos in the back say, "Shut the fuck up, Polly."
Mind control that guy. Tell him, kill me.
You're gonna stick out your palm. Okay.
No.
I know
My palm.
you're gonna stick out your palm at that guy. What you see is your bodyguard put out his
Oh.
hand like he's like a traffic policeman or something at the guy. And let's make a roll on the magic here.
What about
This is what spell is this? The maximum force chaotic world.
Am I going to? Oh, hold on. Is this going to be casted on everyone, or just the guy who sees it? Because it's an area of effect spell.
Well, they're all gonna see it.
I'll do it in a way that only he sees it.
They're all lined
he's
up.
he's the guy who said "shut the fuck up." Polly is looking up at you guys. The rest are just they're looking at the floor. Some of them are looking around.
Yeah, the guy who said "shut the fuck up, Polly." I put my palm like right up to his eyes, and it's going to be chaotic world.
He's in the
force
back
scan.
though, so he's like a couple feet away.
Oh,
But yeah, I'd like you to roll.
Roll.
Wow, so 10d10 is what it's going to be.
Is that-
And so it's your average goon, willpower plus charisma. Well, that really is going to depend on what you roll. Go ahead.
I just did.
10d10
Oh,
where?
fuck. I'm in the wrong channel. Well, I rolled a 43 if you look in general.
Oh, 43. So let's see. So what I'm going to do is it says you see resist drain with next to it. Resist drain is when you cast too many spells, what you have to resist. But the resist on the spell itself is also going to be the mobster's will plus charisma rating. So the resist drain. Except your roll is going to be, so it's F divided by 2. 43 divided by 2 plus 3.
my internet just dabbed on me. What did I miss?
Nothing, we're doing the rolls.
Okay.
24.5. Da. And if he can roll, T exclamation mark. Could you stop rolling so I could see my roll?
No, that you're looking at bots. It's
24, 10d10. Yeah, it's true. I roll on the main D&D channel.
man.
That was close. See, if you would have rolled under that, it wouldn't have worked. But it does work. The mafioso who you just showed your palm to springs to his legs and just he's going for you. The mercenary that's next to you opens fire, full auto, on the guy.
Wait,
And
what does chaotic world even do? I thought just
So-
makes people do bad shit crazy.
chaotic world, okay. It's an illusion spell. And what chaotic world does is that it simulates a sensory overload. So you are feeling and tasting and seeing and hearing a bunch of insane things. Just like you could taste ice cream and see the bottom of a swimming pool and feel like you're burning all at the same time, but you also so it kind of flashes between that and seeing the real world.
How's it gunning for me? You can't see shit.
Because you're right in front of him, so he's getting up and running straight in front of him because he feels very bad. You've just driven a man insane.
Well, okay, well,
Force 10.
not what
he
I wanted.
feels like he's been dipped in boiling oil and like he's seeing the inside of hell and like a police siren is ringing in his ears right
Not
now. Force
exactly
10.
what I wanted to happen, but basically what I wanted. So
Force 10 chaotic world is a bad time.
it's not. I wanted him to like get mind fucked into submission and just fall over, but this is still
Then why didn't you
intimidation.
just cast mob mind, you fucking retard?
Wow,
Well,
congratulations.
it's true
I
because
thought
you were
that's what-
writing
It's
you were
fucking-
writing that sigil earlier.
It's max level chaos world. Like that's going to when someone is on too much psychoactive drugs, they're done. They're fried.
Except
It's like
with a spell, it's this information is being sent to you, but you still have motor control. And in fact, if you were to cast this on a guy using firearms, for example, the guy rolling on firearms could still aim and shoot and know what he's doing, but he would also be going insane at the same time. And so it would be like a test of his resolve.
So chaotic world is like shitty mob mind.
Mob mind is making multiple people essentially
Do something.
agree with each other and imitate each other. So if you would have cast mob mind on all those mafiosos, and you would have cast it in a way that they start behaving like the guy that agrees with you guys, they would have started agreeing with you guys. But it's a very obvious spell.
Because this is how I do things.
So
it's basically
just-
the hypnotic gate for my
So
device.
you see
right?
your bodyguard out, like stretch out his hand, and the mafioso just get up and bolt.
And gets
The
mowed
mercenary,
fuck
the
down.
single mercenary that's like pointing a gun at 20 plus mafiosos sitting with their hands on their necks, turns to shoot this guy.
Oh yeah, you know what
As
I
this
say?
happens,
You know what I fucking say after he gets shot? Like
well, what,
I made
what do
sure
you
he
start
saw
to
hell
say
before he died.
happening? Right. So you're starting to say this. What happens when the mercenary takes his gun off the mafiosos? You see 15 of them start to get up. So in the slow-mo scene of running, the mercenary turning to shoot him down, the other two mercenaries have their back to this because they're pointing their gun. One is in the lookout in the hallway. One is pointing at the guys who are getting essentially first aid to stop dying. A bunch of mafiosos are getting up to swarm this only merc that you have.
Well, I pull out my fucking gun and help if I can.
So this would be combat right now.
Oh boy.
The issue with combat is that I don't want to run Shadowrun combat because we're going to be here until tomorrow. So we're going to roll like every other game initiative. And we're going to roll World of Darkness style. You're going to roll me reaction, just roll me reaction, so if you have like 4 reaction, you roll 1d4.
I'm gonna have to pull up my character again.
So just look up your reaction stat. I'm gonna roll for 20 plus mafioso guys.
Hey, good luck with that.
Oh
They're
boy.
going to have average reaction, so it's going to be 20d3.
I'm rolling
Wait, can I
20.
just skedaddle and leave him to fight 20
Can we
plus
just go
mafia
back
guys?
and say that you was mob mind?
Looks
I don't
like
think it
Tatsumaki
works.
dabbed on you. You gotta increase
You
that.
decided to cast Chaotic World on the mafioso, and that's what's happening. So
Gotta
yeah, I'm just going to
increase
use
that
the rolls
dab
that are
counter.
in here.
Oh
So
boy.
so
Keep
far
getting
we
dabbed on,
have.
PM.
Please
Gotta
cool
increase
down,
your
please
dab
fuck
counter.
yourself. So for now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mafiosos that have a counter at 3 reaction. So roll your reaction stat, or I can do it for you, Dag, for
I have-
example.
I have 4.
2.
So for example, for Dag, it would be 1d4, and he gets a 4.
Damn, son,
Yeah.
where'd you find that?
You are way too slow.
Oh dear.
So you don't know what's
you're gonna
going
get,
on.
You're gonna get merged, dude.
Dino, Dante, you can react first. You're the first person to be able to move in all of this.
Okay, so 20 people are charging at us. There's only...
Mm-hmm.
And we have 1 mercenary and that Jake guy.
You have 1 mercenary, Jake, your good friend, Defried, you.
I thought we had 2 mercenaries.
How the fuck did we pass
There's
by
one in
that
the
person?
hallway, so they're going to notice. There's one in the hallway, and there's one with his gun pointed at the guys getting first aid.
Okay.
Okay, so how far away is the other guard?
The one getting first aid has his back to all of you, and he's he's about like 5 feet away in this room, this former conference room.
And the other guard is...
The other guard is way out in the hallway.
Wait, who shot?
He's
who
a
shot
solid
the
30
guy?
feet away from you.
Who shot
The mercenary did.
Oh, and the one mercenary who was guarding the 20 plus mafiosos is right next to you.
Okay, so... Well,
What did he?
And
Did he
I'm
roll?
going to read his reaction
Yeah.
because he's actually an elite Vatican soldier. Those guys do not fuck around, and they're like suicidally dedicated to the church. Yeah, he acts before you.
I back away from that guy, and I...
He opens up full auto. He shreds the mafioso. I don't even need to roll this.
So they're all dead?
So no, the guy who got up and was about to jump on you explodes in a cloud of blood. As what appears to be the loudest, biggest, most powerful gun goes off in his face. You see a bunch of mafiosos are getting up, and you can tell from where you are that they're going to try to swarm the merc, the church merc, because they're right next to him.
Well, I mean, the only... And Where is his character at? Behind us?
That's Jake, Father Jake. His character, the Merc, is right next to you. You are both in front of the 20-something mafiosos, which are getting up. And what I'm doing is that I'm putting a 1 penalty on all of their rolls. So if they rolled a 3, I'm knocking it down to 2 on reaction because they have to get up.
Well,
So what's going to happen is that a man is exploding in front of you. You can act. Father Jake is going to act. The mercenary behind is going to notice and turn around. And then all the ones with the highest rules are going to act. Mr. DeFried is going to act, and then the ones with the lowest rules are going to act.
okay, so he can get away, but I have a soldier whose back is turned that I should guard because he probably has a gun, and I don't want them to have one.
They're getting up, you know. So, what do you want to do?
And I assume the mob mind is too late.
You can cast it. It would take you about, depending on the force, like a couple of turns.
Jesus.
So if you start casting it and you step away from people running, what force would you want to cast it at? Maximum, you would probably take like 4 rounds to cast it.
What about a half?
Half would be half that, 2 rounds. So it's going to be this turn, and the next turn you're still casting, and the turn after that you cast Mob Mind at half strength.
Jesus. And then they're gonna. We have. They have 1 turn to get up, or they will be up
In
at the
one
end of
turn,
the
they're
turn.
going to be up, and they're going to be on trying to grapple the Merc. In 2 turns, they're probably going to have him grappled or whatever on the floor and be swarming the rest of the room.
Well, are there guns on the floor that I can grab?
No, the guns are all neatly packed away at the other end of the room.
But they're gonna get his gun and the gun of the other soldier whose back is turned.
Yes, they could do that, but keep in mind that guns in Shadowrun can be turned off.
Yeah, I
So,
assume it's like one of those
They're
fancy.
going to have 1 turn with that gun before it turns off because it has no contact with the Merc.
I'll ask you the last time, where's Jake at?
Jake is like right behind you. He's in front of all this.
Well, how's he feel about all this?
Well, you're going to know after your turn. Because he rolled a reaction of 2.
Because we saw him walk down that hallway so casually towards explosions and bullets going off.
Yeah. He's an old timer.
Well, my job is to protect one guy.
Yes, your job is in fact bodyguard of only 1 guy, so it doesn't matter with the rest.
Even though the people that gave us the job will be dead.
Go ahead and act.
I don't know how many turns it's going to take, but I hold up my hand out to them and draw my gun to start shooting at them as I back up into Luke.
So you're going to cast and draw your gun?
To just hold up my hand. Is my sigil still there?
Okay. Yeah, your hand is held out, actually. It's already there.
Just keep it held out. Pull out
Yeah,
my gun.
and you're
start
going to draw
shooting,
your gun. You
backing
can...
up into Luke.
So what's going to happen is that you can prepare your shot. So your turn is drawing the gun, aiming it,
I'm firing
and you're
literally on a
you
crowd
can
of
take
people.
the shot as soon as someone gets close to you.
Isn't,
You can do that.
Can I really miss a crowd of 20 people though?
You might not hit the guy that's coming for you.
Wait, he's not dead yet?
Well, yeah, no, the guy who's dead, but there's like 3 different guys who are going to get up and throw themselves against the first person who has a gun to take it.
So I will
You're
be
doing an
able
awful lot of thinking for split second decision, but it's all right. You're the brainiac. I'll let you do that.
I'll be able to shoot one guy.
Right. So you draw out your gun and you're ready to shoot the first person that gets too close.
Yeah, but one guy and there's 3 guys coming at me.
Yeah. So one guy has dissolved, though. He's in the process of dissolving after having full auto fire of a future repeat shotgun fired in his face.
I think
Um,
the guards got this shit because there was only 2 of them who managed to get all these people to their knees.
mhm. Eight of them are dead, by the way.
Yeah, the ones left, they're like, okay, this is still too much for us. We're just surrendering.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, out of like the 40 mafiosos, half are dead, 5 are like severely wounded, and have another 20 sitting with their hands behind their neck. Now getting up. So you draw your gun and you ready your action to shoot someone. The next person to go is Father Jake. And Father Jake is starting to say, "Stay down." He's going to yell that, and Father Jake is going to pull out an SMG. In fact, the same SMG that Mr. DeFried has on him.
he does have a gun on him.
Yeah.
I do have a gun.
All of you, Father Jake is also wearing that very stylish vest.
Okay, so we're all armed. Okay, it seemed like we were
Yeah.
fucked there.
So yeah, he's gonna do the exact same thing, but he has a submachine gun. The mercenary who just fired is tackled by 4 different people.
Oh, boy.
The other 2 mafiosos are somewhat confused, and they're getting up, but they've gone past the mercenary and they're now like a foot away from whoever was.
You cut out again.
Yeah, so you get to take your shot, Dag, at the first person who's going to be close to you, and so is Father Jake. So I'm going to do Father Jake first because I have his gun. 5P, he gets to shoot twice. Point blank. Why even bother rolling? He puts, with a submachine gun, he puts 2 bullets in the first mafioso that's near him. And you, Dag, can shoot the one who's getting close to you. What is the name of your gun?
The Colt Manhunter.
Yeah, heavy pistol. And with a laser sight, no less. But you don't need to aim. The guy is right there.
Yeah, and after I
And
kill
you're
him,
going
I'm
to
just
fire
gonna
once.
unload.
Yeah, unload. You're going to be able to fire once. Because again, firing is pretty slow with a heavy pistol. That's 5p damage, so 5 pierce. It's not enough to kill a mafioso. The other guy, Father Jake, just shot. Maybe he could be brought back with intense medical help. But you shot the guy. The guy's wounded. He's on the floor, but he's not.
Oh, I stopped him though.
So that's 3 mafiosos down. The mercenary has 4 different guys grappling him. You and Father Jake have emptied your guns. Mr. DeFried, it's your turn.
So let's see what we got. The mercenary's been jumped by 4 guys. What's the guy in the back doing? The other mercenary.
The other mercenary is turning around, and he is now able to see all of this, and he's going to act next turn.
Okay.
And you're hearing "Stay down" from Father Jake right next to you.
I'm gonna pull out my Ingram.
Ingram smart gun, machine gun.
And
You were
how
a little
fast-
bit. You were staying behind your bodyguard wisely enough, so you can do the same as him and ready your action to shoot whoever gets close.
Why do I, the bodyguard, have the shittiest gun in the room?
Because the church is armed to the teeth with expensive guns.
Why does the guy who's being defended have a better gun than the guy defending him?
Because
You're
I'm more
disposable.
important than you are.
All right then.
So yeah, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna I'm gonna try and make an aimed shot at one of the guys who's jumped the mercenary,
Interesting. Okay.
while trying to minimize.
What is your
risk
firearm
as
score?
much as possible. My firearm score is relatively high. I've got.
Remember that you got that +1 because that gun kind of connects to your nervous system.
Okay, so my firearm score is 1.
So that's 2.
Let's see. My long arms are 3. That's not what
That's
would
not
be.
a long arms, no.
Yeah. So
That's a
pistols
submachine.
is 3. I'm not seeing a submachine gun.
Because there is no submachine gun stat.
So does it count as
You need that
pistol?
extra long arm stat because you make complicated shots with sniper rifles, but with a submachine gun, there's no extra stat, I think.
Yeah. So does it just count as firearm?
Okay, the guys are right in front of you. It's about not hitting the mercenary.
Yeah. Because I got 3 pistols.
Just roll me a d10.
I want him to shoot through the mercenary so that
Yeah,
it's
we'll
also his
say
fault.
you're gonna fire 2 shots. So what would be difficulty 3 is now difficulty 6 to not put one of those in the merc. But you have a firearm stat of 2, so we're gonna bring that at 4. Have you rolled?
I have not rolled. Do I
Go
do
ahead and roll.
2d10?
No, 1d10, but it's okay.
1d10.
We'll just use either of those rolls or above 4.
Okay.
So yeah, you kill one of the mafiosos that was grappling the merc. The rest of the mafiosos are either a mix of getting down on the floor like the cowards that they are, looking around confused, or themselves getting up to move, and you see another 6 are getting up to move towards the rest. And let's see, where is the roll move? The merc is going to try to get himself out of the predicament that he is in. And it's going to be Oh, very good.
Wow.
Very good. So the merc is able to actually disengage himself from that, but loses the machine gun in the process. So the way the roll should be done actually is this. It's a d10 for him, and it's a 4d10 for them. But that 10 is basically an automatic success. The way you would do it is that 22, you add 2 and 2 up together. That's 4, and he has to beat 4. to be able to disengage. He loses his machine gun regardless because there's 4 of them. So they have the machine gun, and they have 1 turn with it. But he has disengaged and is drawing his sidearm. You have just severely wounded a man. It's your turn, Dino. Mr. Dino.
So a mobster has a gun, and I cannot shoot this turn.
Yes, you can shoot again, actually.
I shoot the guy with the gun then.
This is happening at the same time, so you can't actually... You can make an aim shot. Yes, you can make an aim shot. What is your firearm stat?
It is 3.
3. That's a very good... You've been at the range. Aim shot. They don't actually have an aim shot ability thing in here. Roll me 2d10.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. No, one of those is a critical glitch. And a critical glitch means, yeah, your shot goes wild. It's not even you hit the
guys.
you don't even hit the wrong guy, you see, because you glitched. Your shot goes wild. You shoot the wall behind them. Father Jake. Father Jake is going to open up with a submachine gun. At the same guys, grappling. He's not aiming for the guy who has the gun. He's just shooting them. 1d10. He does hit, and he takes another down. So one of the guys who was grappling just ceases to exist again. Body count is now at 4 or 5. One of those, 4 or 5. The merc behind finally acts. Yeah, and you see, next turn you would have been able to act and do your spell. The roll behind 2.
Oh, I had to shoot the guy charging at me.
Sorry?
I had to shoot the guy charging at me. So I couldn't do
Yeah,
the spell.
and another guy explodes, so that brings the body count to 6, I think. 5 or 6. 5. It brings the body count to 5.
Why are
The
these-
mafiosos get up, and like more of them start to get up and run forward. You guys are all backing away, but they're still coming, and you're putting them down. It very much is like a Mexican standoff, except one team is actually just running into the gunfire.
I'm actually wondering if it would be better if I just shot the mercs and Jake and say, "Whoops, they opened fire on us." The deal went horrible.
That sounds great. You can see now that they're getting close. That some of the mercs, actually, their hands aren't hands at all. They're big knives. Some of them have claws, and those look very scary. And one of the gun roll 10. 9 out of 3. Where is that gun? Let's see. The gun I gave to battle rifles. No, assault rifles. Yes, there it is. Ares Alpha. Father Jake is going to take 6 piercing damage. which means that he's going to fly off his feet because he gets hit in his vest. Once, which is not going to harm him, and the other is going to blow his arm off.
Yeah, I think when my turn comes up, I'm just gonna run, and I'm gonna
Father
say...
Jake doesn't have an arm now, and he is flying across the room because that merc with the machine gun shot him, and that machine gun is going to brick next turn automatically. And we have one of the mercs readying his actions. Mr. DeFried, it's again your turn.
So let's see what we got. So we got some. Do we have the guys in the back? Are they moving?
You can't look. You don't have eyes in the back of the
I don't know. I don't know what's going on back there.
Let's not rule this
You
out.
can turn around and take a look, and then turn back around. That'll be your turn.
Well, we have a merc. I know we got a merc back there covering them.
Yeah.
Or
One of the mercs that was behind you shot one of the guys.
I think, if I can make a suggestion, is he should run so I don't have to waste my turn dragging him out of the room, and then we could leave the two guys to die.
You guys are winning right now. I mean, Father Jake is flying right now.
I think I would rather Jake.
But you just
and the
took out a
mercenary-
solid half of the ones who are going aggressive. And I mean, a bunch of guys with claws are getting close, but
No. I think it would be
you
best.
can't
for
stand
all
your
of us.
ground and look macho.
It
or
would
you
be
can run.
best for everyone to if Jake and the mercenary who witnessed everything died. That's just my
So,
personal
Mr.
opinion.
Defied,
so what is directly in front of me? What am I looking at?
what you're looking at is your bodyguard has just fired a shot that went wild like a retard.
Surprise.
Father Jake has his arm flying and him flying in another direction, and he's off his feet, and you're about to pull the trigger with your submachine gun out. You've already done a great job of taking out one guy. You have a clear sight on the guy with the machine gun, and two guys next to the guy with the machine gun have just died.
Well, that's it. There's one guy.
There's one guy, and there's 5 others who are running towards you guys. Some of which appear to have, and you can catch this as out of the corner of your eye, cyberware weapons in their hands, knives and that sort of thing.
Okay. And how many shots can I fire in one
2.
turn? 2.
You can fire
shots?
2, but at one target because it's a submachine gun.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot at the close guy.
The
Not
closest
the
person
one,
to you.
No.
No aim shot at the machine gun man.
No.
Okay.
Not that.
Roll d10.
2d10.
1d10. It's not an aim shot. He's down. You bullseye a guy. A guy that visibly seemed to actually have claws instead of hands, takes 2 bullets in between the eyes and drops. Okay,
Alright.
so now I'm finally going to roll one of the mafiosos that gets to the merc, who just was drawing his sidearm, except the merc is slow. Let's see who goes first. Oh, I'm just going to copy paste this. And I'm doing everything in D10s, but normally you have like a million different D6s, and you can get autistic about it. You can like check what your center of gravity is. You can check what the recoil stat on your weapon is. Whether the guy
does
has
sound
hydraulic
autistic.
jacks instead of legs. Yeah, the mafioso's faster.
I rolled
And the
to
mafioso
determine my
is
center
going
of
to
gravity.
drive a knife that has sprung from his wrist into the throat of one of the mercs.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
I roll to find the parabolic motion of the bullet.
I'm gonna just leave the room.
Well, you're already leaving the room, but you're walking backwards instead of running.
Yeah,
So
I
it is
run
now
backwards.
actually your turn again.
I think can I run backwards and shoot?
You can't do that, no. Well, yeah, you can run backwards and shoot, and I'll have you make every shot as an aimed shot from now on. So it's 2d10 instead of 1d10 every time you shoot.
How many more hostiles do we got?
So 5 more. 1 is holding a machine gun, 4 are getting it.
I thought I killed.
4 are running
No, I
toward.
didn't kill the one holding
The
machine
rest
gun,
are
I
on
killed
the
one of
ground
other
now,
ones.
and
Yeah,
you see like some 10 of them are on the ground, not wanting to do anything about this.
So why didn't you shoot the guy with the machine gun?
Well,
what's
it's
he
up to
gonna do
him.
with a brick
And now
machine
it's up to you to decide what to do. By the way, if you're going to try to make an aim shot while running backwards, it's going to compound. That's going to be 4d10.
Do it 5d10. Go even further.
So
Go,
if
do a parabolic motion. Do 6d10.
if I
What is your center of gravity?
roll,
You can't
Yeah,
try
what is
to
my
trick
center of gravity? Let me roll. That's apparently my center of gravity.
that's really good center of gravity.
Yeah, it's
That
because
is a
I'm
good
dead
center of
laying on the
gravity.
table.
Go ahead and roll.
Uh,
You want to take a shot and you want to run backwards while doing it, correct?
so I'm behind. So the is the mercenary dead? The first one in the foreground.
Yeah, you killed a lot of people, but since you took your aim shot at someone else, you have a merc that's pretty close to you right now. You don't see what's going on with his hands. He doesn't appear to have anything with his hands, but he has one hand cocked over his head like he's about to slap you.
That would be a good use of an action.
So yeah, you can choose to shoot this guy, or you can turn around and run, or you can just stand there and take it.
I'm
Wait, is
about
that
to be
one? Is that
slapped.
one of our mercs? What is that?
You should roll 10 d20s to decide the center of gravity for a slap.
I will actually roll center of gravity if I did actually do that for the merc's grapple.
So I'm about to just be slapped by a normal hand.
Yes, apparently that's what you can see.
So I'm just gonna be slapped, not even gonna be hit.
Maybe, maybe not. You go ahead and do whatever.
It's the Turk slap. He's gonna knock your face off.
How many guys are behind him? Is there? I'll shoot him and then I'll just fucking encounter another guy.
You're running backwards, correct? Or you're gonna just do the walking backwards normal shot?
This guy is in slapping range and my gun is like out.
No, the Ottoman slap.
So?
You're gonna get Ottoman slap.
Running backwards or not? Come on.
I guess walking
2d10.
backwards.
Walking backwards, so you're gonna stand your ground and shoot. It's 1d10.
I'm gonna fucking die if I don't
I hope
move.
not.
Because
Run 2d10, walk 1d10.
T-roll 2d10.
Ooh.
That's perfect middle ground.
This is about to be you right now.
You get him in the waist.
That's good.
6 yeah, that stops him in his track. He's falling. It says he falls. Yeah. Well, he's going to roll his center of gravity now to know if he's falling. If if he actually trips over or not, because 60-10 is not actually a lot. Yeah, he holds up. You've stopped him for now, so he's going to need to take an extra turn if he wants to actually get within slapping range of you again.
What's his
But he hasn't
fixation with
fallen
slapping
over,
me?
and he has taken a round through the gut. You've shot him in the stomach.
Working as intended, and I moved back further.
Okay. Father Jake is
There's
going to roll for
an
bleeding
actual
out.
footage of this mafia guy.
So basically,
Yeah.
I have to get back as far as I can while they go through the meat in front of us.
Father Jake is crawling away, but he has mastered his fear, and so he's not going to frantically go back for his arm, which is good. Mercs are going to shoot. So we have one dead merc, we have one live merc, who's going to drop one of the mafiosos. And now I'm going to roll for the mafiosos. One of the mafiosos, so you dropped the mafioso that was close to you, Mr. Fry, but now this is the mafioso that Dag tried to kill. The mafioso that Dag tried to kill has a monofilament whip in his hand. He has, imagine you could pull a USB cord out of your hand, but that USB cord is the size of a molecule and can slice through steel.
Oh dear.
Now, this is very complicated because he was just shot in the gut. Yeah, he's not going to get, he's going to get his hands. He's going to get Dag's hands. And let's see if I can find it in here.
Great.
The actual, like, cannon stat for damage. It's probably going to be in cyberware. Cyber weapon.
Everyone's just gonna get revived after this, right? So it's not like I could have ran away and all
If
the
you're
witnesses.
dead, you're not revived.
Let's say again.
And well, depends. Like, it's very expensive to like revive someone if you only have their brain, for example. But if someone has lost a limb, limbs are cheap.
So Jake is still gonna live to tell the
Hand
tale.
blade, hand razors, spur. Yep, that's it. Spur.
This is actual footage of the event.
Hand
It's taking
razor.
place right now.
You have a vest, but the vest is not going to help you because you're holding out your hands, and he's only getting your hands right now. Yeah, there's no point having you roll any kind of resist. You lose a. You feel a sting. You can't feel
You know
on
what?
your left hand your fingers, and on your right hand you can't feel anything past the wrist.
You know what I just remembered is I had a drug that slows down time, and it would have been useful for this exact thing.
It would have been useful. You, in fact, could have taken your first turn to take that and then cast your spells very fast.
Welp.
On your next turn, your right hand is going to fall off, and on your left hand, your foremost fingers are going to fall off.
Well, I guess
You're still holding the gun, of course.
I'm just gonna go to the hospital right now. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
walk to the hospital.
It's like that Prodigy song, "Take Me to the Hospital."
I'm just gonna turn. I'm just gonna turn around and start walking straight to the hospital.
So after Dag, we had a mercenary. We're down to only 4 guys.
I don't even
Which one?
know what we're gonna
Side.
do if we win this battle, because
You guys are basically halfway through the conference room.
We're
Right
only halfway
now,
through.
Father Jake is in danger because he has. He's on the floor. So if you guys keep retreating now,
you know what?
they're going to gain ground and get to Father Jake.
And that is totally fine with me because I'm just the bodyguard, and I didn't fuck up the negotiations on paper.
No, you did not fuck up anything at all, right?
No, that's what
No.
I'm
Yeah, it
saying.
was me. I fucked it up.
At first, you
I
talk
wanted
No,
50%.
in
Your hands.
We negotiated with the boss. The
I
first
forgot
thing he
something.
says is, "I
Yes.
eat money."
I forgot something.
Give me all
Mafiosos are
your
very
money.
fond
I
of
eat money.
using very discreet cyberware, including cyberware that allows you to have compartments in your body to hide things. And one of them happens to have a grenade. One of the fellows who was sitting down in there managed to sneak a grenade past the Templars because one of his compartments built into his body essentially was
Wait.
able to escape the notice
They-
of their.
They searched the other guys, so they didn't even have guns to threaten to shoot us with.
Those guys who were getting first aid are actually guys who had guns built into their hands, so the Templars cut their arms off and then put them. Yeah. Ba-bum, 3 to 10. Ooh, not a good roll. Yeah, critical glitch in there. A guy throws what appears to be a frag grenade, and it goes wild into one end of the room, and blows a bunch of furniture everywhere, including furniture in the way of two of the guys who were running towards you guys.
He just
I would
dabbed on
like-
himself.
I would like Mr. DeFried to make a dodge roll. So that's going to be that
What
center
is-
of gravity. Well, not yet center of gravity. It's going to be 2d10.
Yeah, I roll for the fragment of the
Oh,
the shards of furniture to
Roll
I
center
roll
of
for
gravity,
that.
1d10.
Yes, this is a number.
Mr. DeFried, you are knocked over by a flying pool table. See, the grenade
got
went
dabbed
wild
on,
and
son.
landed under chairs and a flying pool and 2 pool tables. Sent one in the way of the mafiosos and one lands square on you.
so
Um,
what do I got to deal with here?
You're out of your next turn is trying to get a pool table off of you, which is very heavy.
Oh boy.
You probably have broken something at the same time.
I have 5 minutes
Um,
left before I have to leave.
Okay. So yeah, we can close out combat with another. The next turn is essentially, Dag, you're gonna kill another one of those guys because there's no way they're actually gonna get in there, and the mercs are now gonna just clean up the rest. You have 10 guys on the floor.
How do I make sure
Who
Jake
have-
dies so that he doesn't live to tell the
Jake
tale
is
of how-
bleeding out, and one of the mercs is taking care of him, applying first aid on him.
So we should just take a few steps back.
He's only lost an arm. He's only lost an arm. That's it. He's not actually very grievously wounded. You have a bunch of mafiosos that the mercs are putting down now. The ones that were wounded are being killed. And the guys at the other end of the room who decided to stay down are still there. Mr. DeFried will then be able to actually do his negotiations a third time with the restructured management of this mafia gang, which went from being 40 members to 10.
Why didn't we just kill them all in the first place?
And
The
Dante, you because you need the gang like rules the local thing. Those 40 guys are just the leadership. You have hundreds, if not thousands, of other guys that are part of this gang elsewhere in the city. So if you declare gang war, it's bad. If you just, restructure the management, it's fine.
You should declare gang war.
So yeah, Dante, you've put down like 3 different people today. You've murdered a lot of people, and you're standing there, and you really, really want that dreamweed right now to mellow out.
Yeah, I
Which
just
remember is underneath a
So
pool table.
make that addiction check.
Oh boy.
And Mr. DeFried, you can walk up to the mafiosos and give them your terms for the negotiations.
What's in my addiction check again?
Just roll me a d10. Through critical glitch, you're going to be trying to rob Mr. DeFried, who is just... Yeah, you're fine. You can contain it.
Why contain it?
No sheen. You're staying frosty, as they would say. Okay, so Mr. DeFried, you're in front of 10 terrified mafiosos who are on the ground.
Okay, we're restructuring the terms of the negotiation.
One of the
Will do.
mafioso guys like kind of turns on his back and he's looking around. Hey, Jerry, you there? No answer.
I casually
Ollie?
walk over. I point
No
my
answer
stub,
again.
my missing hand stub. I
Charles?
say, let that be a lesson to you.
No answer. And then he turns to you, Mr. DeFried, and says, I guess that makes me in charge. What are your terms, church guy? We're
do
friendly, you know. We don't want any trouble.
we're friendly. I think a 1% is more than generous.
Yeah, I think that's very generous. Thank you. 1%. And I'll tell you what, just good faith. You can pay that 1%, like 5 years in. You know how the corporates do it.
Yeah, I'll relay that up the chain.
All right. So if you guys will walk yourselves out of here, we'll be able to look after ourselves. Make sure local Catholics are looked after.
Good. We wouldn't want any harm to befall the worshippers. I'm sure you understand.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Excellent.
No
Yeah,
harm.
you have a pleasant day, sir.
Thank you. Father Jake is being carried out by one of the last 2 mercs that you came in with.
And then,
The other merc is the other merc is actually leading the way, looking out, and you guys are actually left to fend for yourselves, even though Mr. Fry just got out of under a pool table, and you know what? I'm gonna roll again to see if you broke something.
And then I walk over and I point
Drop
my stub of an
and
arm
you
at
have
them.
no hand.
And I say, let that be a lesson to you.
The mafiosos
Time you've
say
done.
nothing and just look at you in a very wide-eyed.
And then as we're walking out of the room, just before I leave the room, I turn around and I point at them with the stub of my arm and say, let that be a lesson to you.
Mr. DeFry, could you roll your perception stat?
Say again?
Could you roll your perception stat? Actually, you don't have a perception stat. Intuition. Actually, roll me intuition and logic.
You give me 1 second.
I'll just roll it for you then. D6.
Okay.
3, okay. You spot the Simpsons Bibles on one of the tables.
I was about to say.
You can see it right there, and you can pick it up on your way out.
Well, I go ahead and do just that.
All right. Well, you guys, you walk out. Your boss has lost an arm and is clearly delirious now and is going into shock. Your bodyguard has no hands. The guys you were negotiating with are almost all dead. And you have secured the best deal you have probably ever made. And when you get back to the compound, Jeremy is all over you. He's telling you you're a hero. The Vatican itself is going to send you a medal. You're going to get a bigger bonus than you knew what to do with. Your father has been alerted to let him know that nothing has happened to you at all, actually. You've got bruises is all you've got.
I didn't even break anything, did I?
No. All you got was a pool table to the face, and that's it.
I am the best bodyguard.
And,
May that be a lesson to them.
I
to
taught
the
them a
bodyguard,
lesson.
Dante, you're back on the job. The church is going to offer to give you cyberware hands, and you're going to have some options to install weapons where those hands were.
Are they retractable weapons, though?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, yeah, that sounds good.
You're going to have a cyberware hand and cyberware fingers, and you can spend all sorts of. They're going to give you a budget, and you can spend all sorts of nuyen, like tricking them out next session. You get to keep the vest. You have a bunch of drugs that Mr. DeFried kindly handed back over to you after the trip.
I do them all the following night.
And a couple shifts of back to working at the soy factory. You learn that you have been credited 50,000 nuyen, half of which are actually a bonus because of all the danger you went through.
So even though I fucked up, I came out on top.
Exactly.
I taught
Mr.
them a lesson.
DeFried, you are credited 100,000 nuyen. You have the other 4,000 you took.
Mm-hmm.
Your father is going to have all the marketing that he can have for his little farm. And you can bump up your relationship to the local church way up. In fact, you are offered a senior management position in the local church poly club.
Well, I'm gonna have to accept that.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
You're a big corp now then.
Oh.
You're going to be head of negotiations now at the local St. Fernan church.
I'm very good at my job.
You are very good at your job. And you're still going to have your bodyguard assigned to you.
Let
And
that
that's
be
the
a
end of
lesson.
that's the end of the game.
Well, that was really fun.
Man.
Yeah, you guys almost died. I don't think you realize how dangerous those mafiosos were. If you
No,
would have
I was-
missed too many rules,
I was
that
under the impression we were
monocle
fucked. I was
gone through
Yeah,
Dag's head.
I thought for
I
a
thought they were
second.
fucked too.
I was contemplating.
Yeah,
I didn't know the other guys were armed except me and the one merc. So
Special thing. Nobody knows you're a mage. Nobody knows magic was cast.
the mafiosos
It was a guy
don't.
who just
The
went
people.
nuts.
Well, they're all dead.
Like nobody knew that it was your fault and that you cast magic shit.
I'm not a mage.
And
I
that was
didn't even-
that was my I let that happen.
The
My,
boss just said
stopping
he
from
eats money, and then
casting
they
it
went
the
into a
first
frenzy.
time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
So,
even. I don't even know
before
that
the
you
next
had.
session, you guys can do the other part of Shadowrun, which is shopping. So you can spend all of that good new yen you just got on some really tricked out stuff. I would
I probably-
probably just also those base points. I can give you more of those since you
You
guys
know-
just did mission.
Imagine if you actually cast that when you first wanted to cast it.
Oh, you guys would have
Imagine,
been dead.
imagine just how fucked you.
You would not have just been dead. The bodyguard would be dead. Mr. DeFried would be tortured to death as like a message.
Hey, see what I was doing with getting closer to the door? I thought I fucked up, so I wanted Jake and
Yeah, no,
Mercenary
like
to die.
all the church guys are completely insane. They're all indoctrinated. Those Templar soldiers are indoctrinated soldiers that are loyal to the death. they will throw themselves against a wall of bullets, which is what they did actually in that. They showed up with machine guns drawn, all 11 of them in that room, and half of them almost immediately died from having 40 plus mafiosos like draw their guns and shoot at them.
Yeah, like the second you said something about raising your arm, I thought we were all gonna die.
And it was just like a one-off thing where I was just gonna say, "You see what I did to him? The thing run." It was just the guy. He was just saying one thing. He's like, "Shut the fuck up, Polly." Like, not even actually commanding him. And I was just one off, just teaching him a lesson, and that's what I did. I taught them all a lesson.
Yeah.
And let that be
You
a
sure
lesson.
did.
Like the bodyguard did so much more damage than was necessary, but it turned out okay because that's how the things work in Shadowrun. You got that 1%. The church is going to save like 700,000 new yen on that.
Yeah, but now that preacher's gonna come back.
Nah, you should have went with the 50%.
And in fact, it's their reputation in Chicago is going to be that you don't fuck with the church. And so they're going to get a bunch of new converts because converts are going to be like, well, the church can protect me now. It's going to be millions upon millions of new yen in the next few years, which makes the price of a couple dead mercenaries worth it.
Oh, definitely. What is
Yeah.
that? 300,000 spent on that operation?
Yeah. No, like the mercs like cost a good 200 grand each
Okay.
to grow in VAT and arm and so on.
All right.
Yeah, more like 300,000 spent just on me and Dag.
Yeah, you and Dag cost 300,000. The mercs cost the corp a couple million. Father Jake is going to get a big compensation package because he's now going to be retired after losing an arm.
And he's gonna be grateful to me.
Oh yeah.
May
In
that
fact,
be
you're
a
going to be
lesson.
seeing more of him. Father Jake is going to be he's going to be around.
That fucking idiot.
May that be a lesson to him.
Yeah, whenever if we ever have to fight him, I'll do the same thing after my hands get blown off.
Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna drop like a total of like the game with the title and like everything that happened. So that if we do this again, we know where to up on.
Yeah, that was fun, and I'm already 3 minutes late. So
I'm gonna call the game restructuring management.
yeah,
But yeah, that was a good time.
yeah,
I had to wing it on the lore, but whatever.
it worked out. I like working for a church.
Yeah, you're a local poly club, friendly poly club.
And I like how my character still is trapped working at a soy factory.
Oh yeah, and he got a
Dear.
pretty shitty payout. Like you got 50
Whatever.
grand for risking your life and losing a hand. That's not very good. But 50 grand is like so much more than what you make in a year, so you don't know the
Yeah.
difference.
It works out.
And you are immediately going to blow it all on drugs.
Exactly. And
That's
robot
true.
hands.
No, you have a separate budget for that. I'm gonna give you a full 10,000 new yen for your hand.
Good. I have to leave.
Yeah.
All right.
Good game.
So
Yeah.
Dante, he gets